Ding, 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 ding. Mm. Oh. Peace. Come in, y'all. Let's sears through this glitch and let's make this shit make sense. I can't see that. Peace, peace, everybody that's coming on, even those in the back. Peace, peace to you all. But I'll tell y'all, Tyler Perry, got everybody clutching their pearls, okay? You had me too. I was crying. But yeah, y'all come on in, share up the live. We finna drop some real hard truth. Alright? Some real hard truth. And if I do cry, y'all, it is what it is. Okay? But yeah, y'all roll up in here. We gonna drop some real hard truth tonight. It's gotta be said. It must be said. And we gotta look at this shit from a different angle. As I was just telling my sis just a moment ago. So y'all please share up the live if you can. But yeah, a lot of people saw a message, but I don't think a lot of us gained it internally. So that's what we're going to dive deep into tonight. So yeah, peace to everybody coming on. Happy Sunday to everybody. I hope everybody watched the movie. I know a lot of people might have got triggered. I know a lot of people, my sisters say they tired of seeing this narrative, okay? Which, I can agree. Mental health is real, bro, okay? Very real, okay? Especially on a very high vibration dealing with you spiritually, okay? And that's what I'm coming to bring the tea about. Okay, we know the struggle story. We understand the struggle, okay? But mentally, I don't think a lot of people dive deep when it comes into your mental health, okay? So that's what we're going to bring the heat about, okay? But like I said, Tyler Perry had a lot of people clutching their pearls. A lot of people triggered, a lot of people crying. I've seen it numerous of times on my timeline this morning, yesterday, about this movie Straw. And once I seen the title Straw, I realized this is the last straw, y'all. Okay, mentally, we fuck the physical shit. Mentally, this has got to be the last straw. Okay? Okay, this was more than just a narrative of struggle. This was about a community not supporting her. Okay? Exactly, bro. I agree. Let me pin that. I definitely agree with that because, it is very hard out here if you don't have a village. Okay? And I have spoke about this numerous of times. I can't stress it enough. Okay? If you don't have a village, mentally, you will become disturbed. Okay? So it's definitely about the support that we all need from one another. Okay? Alright? Yes, sis, it's very hard. It is hard. Me, personally, I have a lot of people surrounded around me. I can't say this about everybody else, but me personally, I have grew up in that era. Okay? I am surrounded around a lot of single mothers. Okay? And just because you're married, let's get this tea. Just because you're married and you have a 2-parent household doesn't mean you're still not a single parent. Because there's a lot of people out here married and still single parents. Okay? All right? So this really doesn't have nothing to do with single mothers. All right? But that narrative, that energy does resign from that, that narrative. But we gonna break this shit all the way down. If you don't want to hear it, I suggest you move the fuck along. All right? All right? It is also displayed that it took 2 black women coming to her and supporting her because she felt she had no one. Bingo! Bingo! Bingo, bro. Okay? That lady wasn't even really stressing about the fact that she was struggling. It was really solely about not having the support system. Okay? All right, my story. It takes a toll on everything because you lose your focus. You right, sis. And I seen your comment earlier about, we put so much energy into, taking care of our children, taking care of our households, that we do lose, a touch of reality. Okay? We lose focus on what we're supposed to focus on. All right? So that's really, you definitely can get lost. Okay? You can lose yourself. All right, mentally. We ain't worried about the physical. Okay? Because mentally, all right, is what your physical abilities is going to follow. All right? As a black man, I felt this because I've witnessed growing up and saw so much more. I cried real bad. Me too, God. Because this what really made me cry. Because I'm surrounded around a lot of black, beautiful, strong women. Okay? And men too. All right? I grew up in an era where there were single parents, whether you male or female. All right? And trying to make ends meet. All right? And what really got them through it is their mentality. Okay? And it's how you view things. It's how you see things. Okay? And we're going to dive deep into, Taraji's character. Like I said, it wasn't so much of the struggle she was concerned about. It was all about her child at the end of the day. All right? It was all about she didn't have nobody at the end of the day. It was all about no support system at the end of the day. Because she was making ends meet with whatever she had. Okay? I know a lot of people in our households have grew up in that situation. Okay? Your mama don't have time to sit back and think about the struggle physically. Okay? Because mentally, she's got to make it happen. Okay? Whether this is a male or a female. Mentally, your parents had to make it happen. Okay? Okay? I've been disconnected from a lot because my situation only thing I know is to keep going. I related to this movie so much. Right. We don't have time to think about the physical. Okay? We don't have time. We have to solely focus on keep going. All right? And regardless of what this woman was still going. And mentally she thought her daughter was still here. Okay? All right? And it's really sad because a lot of black men are dismissing this film. A lot of black men are. And the reason why is because they're triggered. Okay? They're triggered. All right? As a writer and a director, I was very moved by it. Is right. Right. I knew you would get it too, bro. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest. Tyler Perry movies are going to trigger you. Okay? They're going to move you in such a way with your emotions. But it's only to uplift you so you can see it from a different angle. Okay? I've said this numerous times. Not even just Tyler Perry. It's so many people that are directors. Okay? And they go off of images. They go off of symbolism. They go off of, the spiritual aspect. Okay? And of course it's going to come off and be directed physically, but you have to see it beyond that. Okay? Okay? Having a child with a disability, I felt this on a deeper level. Okay, sis? And you got to do it all by yourself but you got a village, right? Okay? But you still have to put all your energy into that to make sure your daughter is set. Your daughter is, okay. All right? This is deeper than the struggle. Physically, this is a mental health problem. Okay? That a lot of us we don't look at. All right? We don't look at this. When I watched this movie, y'all, honestly, the struggle didn't move me. It only reminded me from where I was at and where I'm at now. Okay? And it also showed me what is still happening in today's society. Okay? And so I'm a voice for multiple women and men. Okay? All right? So you can move past that struggle mentality. Okay? Yep, it has to be. This conversation has to be said. We have to have it, bro. And this is the only reason why I'm on here. I'm not on here to kind of bash anybody. I'm really not. But I am on here to let y'all know and to let y'all see that this shit right here, we got to move. We have to change the mental. Okay? All right? All my posts, I've been saying if you want to change the narratives and the scenes, all right? You got to change it mentally, how you view things. Okay? All right? Regardless if this woman didn't have a village, because there's a lot of women out here that don't. And they do it solely on their own. Okay? Regardless if you don't have that village, which the village does help a lot. Okay? It allows things to move smoothly. All right? It allows you to be able to still be connected into your own reality where you can move freely. Okay? So it does help. But there's a lot of women out here, a lot of men out here that are doing it on their own. Okay? They don't have a village. Okay? They don't have the time to sit and correct and, focus on their mental. Okay? They're so stuck in the physical perspective that they don't have the time to take care of their mental. Okay? So it be people in the world that looks at you, that'll look at these individuals as crazy. All right? Or they look at them from a different angle because they don't have the time to sit back and focus on their mental. All right? When I teach meditation, my sole thing that we practice on at the beginning is quiet of mind. All right? So a lot of people can't quiet their mind in this society. Okay? Because they have so much that they're trying to stay above in this reality. Okay? This movie wasn't to break down single mothers on a physical perspective. It was all about trying to raise you up out of the mentality, okay, of your struggle, okay, mentality. All right? Like Rose said, mental health is real. It's seriously real out here. All right? She was already struggling, clearly, of course, and she was doing it, okay? Whether she was behind on bills or whatever. As we can see, we found out at the end, her daughter transitioned. She didn't even have time to grieve. Do you know how many people out here can't grieve? Okay? Because of the physical aspects. Okay? Because they think that they're physically struggling. But in reality, it's all about their mentality and how they're struggling. Oh! Oh! Y'all moved. Y'all didn't see it. I don't know if you caught it or not. I don't know if you caught it or not, but this woman was struggling mentally. And I know a lot of women out here that do. They don't have a chance. They don't have a choice to sit back and, live the life that they want to enjoy. Because mentally they're struggling. They don't have the time to sit back and grieve. Okay? This woman didn't give a chance to grieve. I know a lot of women like that. They got to keep going. All right? And that's what causes you to continuously to struggle. All right? And if you don't have somebody you can lean on, if you don't have somebody you can talk to, if you don't have nobody to support you, it can spiritually, divinely destroy you. Let me get my thoughts together. I'm married. I'm still struggling. Y'all don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. Okay? It's not about the physical. It's about your mental. You don't get it. Oh, my God. Just because you have a two-parent household doesn't mean shit. Because if your mental ain't up to par, this shit doesn't matter. It don't matter.
Hey, goddess. Let it out, baby. Let that out.
I went through this so many times in my life. Y'all don't get it. You don't get it. You missed the message. Completely missed it. It's not about the physical. It's all about your mental. And it's all about what you carry. It's all about what you project into your reality. And if you're not mentally sane, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. Go ahead, bro. I just got to get my thoughts together. Let me get my thoughts together.
Go ahead, look. Go ahead and take your soul to the laundromat. Man, look. I seen a lot of, oh, man. I'm trying to not get emotional with you. I'm a sensitive guy.
God, not for my bad.
But that's only because I'm a righteous black man and I'm a father and I love the women in my family who raised me. Women raised me. And, growing up in Fieldcrest and Nickertown, like, you saw the struggle. But I seen so many times with my grandmother, because my grandma raised me, she tried so many times to hold that in to where she was breaking down mentally. You know what I'm saying? And we live in a different world, in a different generation. Our ancestors are a lot stronger than we are.
They
You feel me? And it was just making me sick to my stomach today, seeing all these lame. Now everybody has their opinion. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but I just don't understand how people watch this movie and pull that from it, like the narrative of Now me and Tyler Perry, we don't have a great relationship. You know what I'm saying? We had some woes back in 2013, 14.
Okay.
With some stuff I was doing with Lionsgate, but
right.
As a writer and as a director, it's just like people who don't know artists. They ain't, if you don't have to respect the person, but you can respect the craft, basically. You know what I'm saying? Even if he didn't write it and he had writers write it, because he got writers, a lot of writers,
That's
You
true.
have to respect. You have to respect the visual and the narrative, and try to understand. Like, wait a minute, how can I denounce something, or how can I down something dealing with our people, our struggle, our it's. I don't understand how they didn't get mental health out of this. I don't
Exactly.
understand how they didn't get community or camaraderie out of this. Man, it broke me down when I saw Sinbad, because I'm a big Sinbad fan. I know what Sinbad's been through over the past couple of years, and even in his struggle, he's still a very great presence. And just him playing that small role and saying, you know what, everybody was saying she's a good woman. That's not her. And even when she ain't got nothing, she still give me some change, or she get what
Still
I ate.
giving.
Man, that broke
Still
me. Like, I'm in
giving.
here the first 15 minutes of this movie, I was bawling. You know what I'm saying? My daughter just got finished watching it. And my daughter doesn't have my ex-wife is not a great mother figure. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't always like that, but like the last 15 years, she's been just complete trash to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So when my daughter watched it as a college kid, it hurt her pretty bad, because she don't feel like she ever had a mother to ride like that for her.
Mm.
You feel me? All she ever
Mm.
seen was her mother try to punish her father for being a great man or a great father figure, because that's a whole nother story. That's what my movie Happy Father's Day will entail. It will show the mental health of a man, and how mostly ain't nobody coming to a man's aid either. Ain't nobody really coming to
Exactly.
save no man. You know, they're just gonna tell you, get stronger, be better, make more money, suck it up, move on. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Most of the time they're gonna village around a woman. But that's why it was so important that you saw a woman who didn't have that village. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You know what I mean? And it's like one thing about Taraji, she put that work in since Baby Boy. She she
She's been
she
great art.
she,
Yes,
she
she's a
gonna
great
bring
actor.
there. If anybody should get an Oscar for Tyler Perry, she gonna be the first one to do it. Because if you look at, you can tell she done kind of had to. When you play roles like that, you
You
gotta
have
be
to
able to relate.
embody it.
You
Yep, you got
gotta
to
be able to
embody
relate.
it.
We don't know her personally, so we don't know what she's been through in her life to get to the point that she at. You feel me? So if you looked at that film and saw that hurt and worryation and that delusion in her eyes, you know what I'm saying? That she, the way she can make her eyes do and just look like she looked,
Right.
and you have to understand, as a director, it ain't always one take, two takes, three takes. Sometimes it's 24, 30 takes. For Hollywood, anyway, it is. I
Right.
can do 5 takes and be satisfied. So you know how many times she had to channel that energy, channel
Mm-hmm.
that dark place. We
Right.
like watching movies, but people don't know what it takes to make them. You feel me?
That's
But I
true.
was just so hurt by the black men in the community. Like you said, they was probably triggered. They probably grew up and saw that, and they still don't know how to talk about it.
Exactly.
All
That,
they know is, well, I'm gonna take care of my mama now. I'm gonna take care of my sister now, so she ain't gotta worry about that. But you still ain't let that grief out. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. Okay. Definitely
And
ain't
people,
let that grief out.
and like you said, and this woman didn't even have time to grieve. Like, people be trying to make people grieve a certain way. You can't determine how people grieve. Your jobs are trying to fire you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay. He got hella
yeah,
bills still coming.
you
You
know what I'm saying? They don't want to
know,
let you
life
do
does go
FMLA.
on, but
Yeah,
you got to take
nothing.
that time to grieve.
That's why I tell everybody who work a 9 to 5, depending on how your job work, because I ain't telling you to quit your job or leave your job, but take a mental health day. Take a mental
Yes,
health day. You know, they might point you, but if you ain't here, then what's the point? You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
You
Because
got to
what we
think
do,
about you. You right.
you work, and then you die. You ain't even had time to enjoy the money. People who work, people that I'm very concerned about, and I've never worked this type of job because I just ain't been interested in doing it. But if I had to do it to take care of my family, I would definitely do it if my body allowed it. Plant jobs. Plant jobs
They
are the #1 mental health killer. You are literally going in there doing the same routine day and night. There's no change. It's the same routine on the line, making the same stuff every day. You got enough time. You be so tired. You got this enough time to come home, take a shower, eat a little something, wake back up, and do it all over again.
Yes, but yes, I wanted to. I'm glad you put that out there because that's really where I was going with this direction of this movie. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us just really just seeing that physical aspect and not really tapping into your inner dark self and seeing it from a different angle. Okay?
Yeah.
Now I have some things that I want to say as well when it comes to grief, because grief is all about releasing that internal energy that you got to let go. Okay? All right, and it's good to take a mental health day. It's good to take time to yourself because you have to, you have to for your mind's sake. All right? So you can continue to focus and be able to enjoy your life. Okay? If you don't take that, then you're constantly on that, what they call it, the wheel. Okay,
Yeah.
that mouse that keeps going and keeps going in the same circle.
The mental will, mental will.
All right? If you don't get off that wheel and take that break for yourself, you will be caught up in a struggle reality.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, and that's what this movie was all about. It ain't about single mothers. It ain't even about the struggle in the hood. All right?
It's just about mental health, period.
Right. I think we tend to forget that Tyler Perry came from this. He was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? His mother wasn't there. Okay? So he's seen this struggle mentality all his life, like I have, like you have, like all of us have.
Facts.
All right? Now, to be honest, I went through some shit when I was a kid, and I've talked about it numerous times. I've been molested, okay?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was working all the time to take care of her 4 kids, okay? My mama didn't know what was going on. She didn't have the village like she should have, okay?
Yeah.
She was a young mother, okay? And she still had to work. And while she's working, her children are being mistreated. I know a lot of women that go through this. I know a lot of people that's went through this, okay?
Facts.
If my mama had the village she had, a lot of the shit that we succumbed as children, we wouldn't have had to go through. You feel me?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
All right? That was also damaging to my situation. And that's why I don't take nothing, I don't hold nothing against my mama. Because my mama had to do whatever she had to do to make sure ends meet. She didn't have the time to tap in with her children. She didn't have the time to be emotionally, involved with us.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
My
it's
mama
funny how they told us, like, we don't
child.
understand. They said we ain't gonna understand some things until we get a little older. We ain't never understand them telling us that, did we?
Right. We didn't understand that when we was kids because we always want our parents. We don't understand the sacrifices that our parents have to go through.
Yeah, we thought our parents was rich.
Just
like our kids think we rich.
You know what I mean? My kids think that today, and I have to let them know that that's not it.
Exactly.
Okay?
I'd be like, look, you don't understand.
Everybody
we bought one
coming
paycheck
on.
from being homeless.
Okay? Do you know how many sacrifices I got to make? All right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm grateful I do have a 2-parent. My kids do have a 2-parent household. But mentally, we still in the struggle.
Yeah, even with a 2-parent household, you gotta understand when you're dealing with 2 energies. It's about, people always try to say yoke. I don't really like to say yoke. Well, I do. Yoke is cool, but I don't like how people made yoke a religious term because it's not a religious term. Just like how tithes ain't a religious term. Tithes didn't even come from the church. That's a whole nother story. They came from a community of people who felt like if they had an extra cow or extra loaf of bread or extra bottle of milk or whatever, they would go commune and go door to door and they would break bread with their brethren. And that's what tithes was. And it had nothing to do with the church, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yoki just means that we both on the same page. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It's just that simple. But you know, even in a relationship or a marriage, more so, it's struggle. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be financial struggle, but it's just that mental struggle, because here you are conditioned to think that you're supposed to make your mate happy, but that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to make you happy, and your mate has to make their self happy, and then if you make each other happy, then you bless twice. That's how that works. That's how that works. My happiness ain't got nothing to do with your happiness at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But if you a person that makes me happy, then that's blessed twice. But if I'm not happy with myself, who I'm gonna be happy with? You know what I'm saying? That's just how that goes. Like, people don't understand, like, marriage is work. Marriage is like, you have to learn how to fall in love with the same person over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's no such thing as a perfect marriage, because that would be between a blind man and a deaf wife. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to see her face, and she ain't got to hear his mess. That's what that would be. So marriage takes work, man, and it's mental stuff that comes along with that. It's mental stuff that comes along with the kids. Nobody ain't no manual to being a parent, no handbook, and you have to make each other. The best thing is this: the most important thing in any relationship, whether it be friendship, partnership, marriage, whatever, you have to understand that you have to respect that person to make them feel like they are wanted. I don't want to feel needed. I want to feel wanted. If you want me or need me, that's cool, but I want to feel wanted. I don't want to be in a marriage and you have your partner, they're always like withdrawing from you. They're withdrawing, they're taking, but they ain't making no deposits. That's not a partner. That's a parasite. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you have to make them feel, because there's so many men in their relationship. Men feel like when they're in relationships or married, whatever, they feel like they would just here to pay bills and die. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the struggle of their mentality.
We all felt that way. Even at 45, when my kids were grown, I've always felt like as a dad, I'm just a human ATM at times. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's not the whole thing of what it is, but we just feel that way sometimes. Even as mothers, they feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, you don't ever call me or talk to me unless you want something. You don't even say, hey, how you doing? How you been, Dad? Are you okay? How's your health? It's just, can I have? Can I borrow? Can you loan? Can I get? And these days, these kids will send you a cash app request.
What they've been taught. And that's what they're prone to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know,
so that's why this movie was very important, to show the mental health side of a lot of people's condition. Even when Tayana broke down, she could relate. If you can relate, you help. When you can't relate, you don't really care.
You really don't give a fuck.
That's the reality of it all. Then you have, it was so many people
that don't give a fuck, and you really ain't trying to tap into that inner darkness that we all talk about. Because this is what that come from. You know, this is exactly where it come from. Just like when, Taraji, her part of the character, we were seeing physically her daughter getting taken from her, right?
Yeah.
But mentally, that's what she was thinking. If I'm not this perfect parent, if I don't make sure my child don't eat, if I don't make sure she's clothed and got her own place, my child will be taken. Yeah. Okay?
And it's great as Taraji was in her acting sense. You gotta give props to that surrounding cast, that supporting cast. Because old boy from a different world that I used to love, he made me hate him as the manager. He made me hate him as the manager. He played
other
that
girl.
Part.
Okay? The girl in the bank. She couldn't
the landlord,
relate.
The FBI agent.
They couldn't relate.
Yeah, but they played them roles so good. They made me so
mad. They played it. Because there's a lot of people out in the world that cannot relate about any situation, but they're quick to talk about it.
That manager, but that boss, he did not care. You thought he didn't have a single ounce of care in him for her.
Okay. That happens in our world. That goes to your mental health. You don't have time to focus on your household when you in these establishments. You got to be straight on the clock. They don't give a fuck what you got going on at home. They don't give a fuck about your mental.
You know how many women and men wake up when they're long off in the morning and they just stare at the ceiling, and then when they finally get up, they sit on the edge of that bed and they just try to get themselves together. And
Got
then
to
when
get
they
their mind right.
and then when they get in the car, they sit in their car for about 5 minutes before
That's
they
me
pull off.
every day before I go into my job. Woo,
And
let me
then when
get
they
my
get in that
mental
parking lot, they
right.
sit another 10 minutes.
I'm telling you, that's me. I sit there, smoke my last little swig before I go in. I might even hit something. Let me get myself together because I got to go in this motherfucker right here that's about to drain my energy.
Yeah.
You know, my mental has to be in this state to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because physically, I really don't want, you know, not even physically, mentally, I don't even want to do this.
Yeah.
But
You
in
just
the physical aspect, I have to push myself to do it.
gotta do what you gotta do till you can do better. And that's why I tell people all the time, none of us sit high enough, sis, to look down on no fucking body. You feel me? Facebook is a fake world. I call it fake book.
Okay.
Step up right to the plate. It's like a circus. Anybody can be whatever they want to portray. See, but back in the day, you couldn't do this shit without social media because we knew you. We knew you was a little.
Right.
We knew you was a little thot at the street. We knew you was a little thot at the street who was known for tricking off at nightclubs and dancing. You was famous for what you was famous for in real life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can go up there and you can just put up there anything you want to do. And that's like, well, we don't really know her like that. Man, she doing big things. And then I was like, well, I know it. And she say that's her king, and he was beating the shit out of her at my homeboy house last night.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what the thing about it. We live in a world now, which I can't stand. Social media, it does help us a lot, but it hinders us a whole extra lot, I would say. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't. Everybody just doing stuff for clicks, and like, where is the grace at? Giving people grace. Where is the sincerity at?
I don't even think people understand. They ain't even valuing it, the grace.
I said
when it comes to one of them.
I said people just doing stuff just to troll people to get likes so they can make their money off. They're just doing crazy stuff, man. Like I said, people have to understand that we live in a world where everything is embraced that used to be looked down upon in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Everything's embraced now. All the stupid stuff you would have been embarrassed for, they embrace it now. And they showcase it, and they take our people and they exploit us. And we got all these stupid ass TV shows like Zeus and all this stuff where we spitting on each other, throwing drinks on each other. We the only culture doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
But we get tired of seeing it. But this is what's happening in our communities. It's the mental. You know, we get tired of seeing it. But it's the mental. Like when we was growing up, we had people that focused solely on our mentals. Okay? We had leaderships. We had people in the community that would talk to the young people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To uprise their mental. That you don't have to be another statistic in this struggle. You know what I'm saying? In this physical struggle reality. You don't have to live like that. You know? It's all about uplifting. And that's what Taraji needed. Yeah. Okay? She needed a reality check.
Yeah.
She needed to know that she had somebody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That's what she could relate more because, you know, for the bank lady just to be like, I take her. You know what I'm saying? She made her feel like she had some type of sense of security and support if she had, because she said, I'm probably gonna go to jail. So, you know what I'm saying?
And when bro finished it up, y'all know I'm gonna break down the symbolism too, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay? With her finding out she was homeless. It's a lot of people walking around. Yeah, you might live in a home. You might have it the fuck out.
Yeah.
But inside you are homeless. Okay?
Yes.
Inside you homeless. Robbing the bank. That wasn't a physical aspect. She's been robbed with her mentality. Okay?
Yes.
When she cannot even focus on releasing or the grief of her own daughter.
Yes.
All right? A lot of us have been robbed, and mentally it shows.
We prisoners in our own mind. They lock us up in the cage. That's how as black men and women can endure jail so well. Because they're used to being oppressed up here. So you throwing them in a cell for a few years, I mean, you just double oppressing. Like they already done got used to you. You know, what do you think they call the trap, and they resort back to the trap. It's 4 walls, 4 corners.
Okay.
Trap.
That's exactly why they call it the trap. Okay, the trap house. Okay,
It's a
that's
revolving
exactly
door to
right.
trap you and put you back in another cage. Because you already a prisoner in your mind as it is.
They talking about the prison. We talk about prisoner of war too. Where you think that? Where do you think that take place at?
In the mind, in the mental.
This physical don't even matter.
Yeah.
Okay, like even Bogue say, free your mind, and the
Yeah.
rest shall follow. Okay, and
Yep.
if you ain't freeing it up here spiritually, all right, and you ain't diving deep into the clarity within your mentality, all right, you will never be free.
Period.
Okay, freedom does not exist in a physical aspect. Okay,
Period.
it's in the mind. Okay.
Mental wholeness makes all the difference in the world. If people come back from the war, and I've seen friends come back, when I was in the military, and they come back with some limbs missing, they may can't physically do the things they did, but once they get the help they needed, the prosthetic limbs or whatever, they were say, you know what, no matter what I've been through with that, I am mentally whole. I am not physically whole, but my mind good though. My mind good though.
Okay.
If you wake up every day with a heartbeat, no matter what you're going through, you winning. You know what I'm saying? And
Or
and if you need that mental help that you need, you still have another day to go get that help somehow. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? And support may not always come from a familiar face. It'll always take strangers sometimes to take you to higher heights, because it's people like that we know that'll treat you better than your family will.
that's true.
That'll care for you more than your family will. People think
That's
familiar
true.
faces is where the support gonna come. People might have told you, they be like, Cash, look, I know I don't say much. I know I don't be clicking and liking all the time, but I see you. I see it.
That's right. They do.
The
And that's
haters
all that
see,
matters to
the
me.
haters see it too. They might not say
The
nothing,
haters see it
but
too.
the presence
You're right.
is known. You know what I'm saying?
The
And that's why I try to
president,
tell
no,
people,
say
like,
that shit. For real.
I try to tell people that a lot of people in life may like you and they might say they love you, but do they value you? You know what I'm saying? That's the word right there. Do they value me though?
Do
I don't want to
that.
go where I'm just tolerated. I want to go where I'm appreciated.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, because people just be playing that fake stuff. Just see social media it just be that fake stuff. Like, girl, why is you
Exactly.
loving and liking and following all my damn posts when you know you don't fucking like me? At least you done made it known that you don't like me, but yet you still trolling.
Exactly. It could be a lot of people that don't agree with you, that don't, appreciate. I ain't gonna say they don't appreciate it. They say it in a verbal way they don't like you, right? But beneath all of that flesh, they admire the fuck out of you.
Oh yeah. And if
Okay? But if
if you
you're
ain't,
moving in a direction that they still stuck in, all right?
yeah, yeah. And if you got people that's constantly hating on you or something, you doing something right. Because if you ain't doing that, nobody ain't gonna say nothing to you, talk about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Exactly.
just. But what I never understood is, and it's people out there that got more than me and you and still hate on us.
Ooh, yeah.
They got they got more than you and still hate on you. And the reason for that, you may ask, is because they hate the way people love you and the way people receive you.
That's true.
And they want that. They got all the money in the world, all the physical things and the conditions in the world, but no one cares. Like, no one don't fuck with you because if they do, they just messing with you for your money.
That's true.
It's like, you got 3-4 missed calls from this person. You just gave them $1,000 yesterday. They said, man,
Right.
I just want
Okay.
money. I don't really want to hang with them. He ain't talking about nothing.
I ain't talking about that. That's what I be saying when I do my spiritual information. Okay, I dive deep into the darkness. I bring out what people are not talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to feed you this illusionary information. Okay, I'm going to give you something that's going to move you. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you something that's going to open your mind. That's going to make you think. That's the type of person I am. Okay, I'm not going to misguide you in a direction of illusions.
Yeah.
All right, to feed you or to feed your ignorance, okay?
Yeah.
Which you don't know, okay?
Yeah.
Because ignorance is simply not knowing, I'm not going to feed that. Okay? So a lot of people definitely look at me from a different view, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
And that's how you have to look at it.
They probably like trying to, oh, Shay, she woke. She too woke. She woke. It ain't even about being woke.
Yeah,
It's
I've
just
had
about,
some people say I'm too woke.
it's just about, it ain't, and you know what? And woke is awesome. I like the way this generation can think like that. I said, but it's not even about being
I
woke.
love it.
Woke is amazing, but it's not even about being woke. This is simply about thinking outside of the box.
Right,
You know
and being in awareness.
Yeah, just
being in awareness. You can be woke and don't be aware.
It ain't even
so, you know,
common sense.
just
It's
like
individual sense.
She was woke, she was living, but she was not even aware of her own mental.
Right. Some people be trying to talk the talk, but not like walking the walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm going to act like I'm woke, and I'm going to act like I'm studying. I'm going to act like I'm trying to be aware just because they doing it so I can fit in. But then you ain't really got no passion for trying to think outside the box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Eat outside the box.
Right.
Live outside the box.
Some people, get too comfortable in the struggle mentality that they don't want to grow beyond it. All right?
If you can't grow, you can't glow.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people be stuck into that, you know, that mentality. You know what I'm saying? They're comfortable. All right? They're used to being on that same wheel. All right?
Yeah.
That they don't see nothing else. And I see this in today's society a lot. Okay?
Yeah. And comfortability will get you stuck. I tell people all the time, man, look, in order, you have to become unstuck. You have to go after the shit in life that scares the shit out of you. That's what allows you to grow and be successful.
Right.
When you go after the shit that scared the hell out of you. Like, well, even as a photographer, it was like, well, I'm kind of scared. I don't know if I can learn that kind of photography and to do that kind of editing. I'm gonna stay where I'm at and just deal. I'm safe right here. No,
it's more to it.
It's more. And just we don't have the support of each other, man. To give, I be trying to I share everybody's stuff. People got questions about anything, even people that do what I do. I will give you the information. The knowledge is free. I want to pass the knowledge on. As black people, we can't pass the knowledge on to someone. We don't want to share the information.
Right, we don't. We be trying to, what they call it, something gate, what they call it? We be trying to hold information.
Yeah.
You know,
what instead of sharing the information? Imagine us looking like White Horse Road look on the south and north side. And you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. The Mexicans, them GTs, they got a shopping center terrace on the south and the north side. Cause they working together. We too busy being the crabs and pulling each other down.
Right, we too busy being the crabs in the bucket, baby. All right, and that's why they established a certain amount of lifestyle, because they come together. We the only ones that don't. You know what I mean? We the only ones in our reality, in this existence, that really don't come together. That's why our village is fractured. Yeah. Okay.
The mentality is.
Yeah, and they'll charge for it. They will charge for it. Well, if you want to do this information, you got to charge for it.
The mentality is this: I don't mind cash doing good, just not better than me.
Ooh, you better say it.
I don't mind cash doing better, but just not better than me. Oh, now we got a problem. Lord forbid, cash get a Benz too. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. Even with our delivery of each other and supporting black businesses, like somebody might, let's say my cousin Ricky Prince. They'll go to his store and buy a t-shirt for $25 and say, all right, bro, I appreciate it, I'm out. And then go right down the street to the Gucci store, spend $2,500 and go live. I said, well, why you didn't give him the same support?
Why you didn't give him the same energy?
The same energy. But you did it for people who don't like you or give a fuck about you. A store that don't know you or don't nothing. A brand that could care less. Those brands and those labels are only to oppress.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because who is the biggest purchasers?
Because none of them are giving back to your community at all.
The biggest purchasers of labels is us.
Yep, and we buy it.
We ought to be. We act like we ain't used to shit, but we come from the pure land of Egyptian, and we wore gold and diamonds and glitz. We supposed to be used to this shit by now. You know? We
Ooh,
the first people. We the first people, man.
we are.
You know.
And we the first people to give the rest of the people the knowledge. Y'all can read between the lines, okay?
Mm-hmm. And you know what's so crazy, Cash, that I just thought about in the movie? The two detectives, Tiana and old boy from the Black Hamptons.
Yeah.
How could you keep going against her like that when she was saying, I have a feeling that she not like that. She didn't, I think this is what happened. And he was like, how could you be so sure? Women's tuition, I just feel it and I just know. And just like all the black men dismissing right now, same thing he was doing. So he created that narrative perfectly because he knew that men was gonna feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You sit up here, hey, whose side are we on, dog? Like, you supposed to be my partner. You don't trust me, you don't trust my instincts, as long as we've been. And then he had to be able to apologize and like, I didn't know you went through all that. Like, I didn't know. Yeah, nigga,
Okay.
you don't know because you ain't never asked either.
Okay, and assumptions can be very deadly in our community as well. So a lot of young people out here doing things, and I know spiritually, mentally, that's not them. That's not
Yeah.
them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just what they succumb physically that they're acting out.
And influence.
Mm-hmm.
Influence. The influence is so crazy. These babies these days. Shay, we had to witness the deaths of two of the greatest MCs in the world. Pac and Biggie. That's all we had, really. We, you know, they didn't really announce it like that when Big L died. You know, Big Pun was an impact, but nothing like Big and Pop. It was just huge like Big and Pop. I was watching something on YouTube yesterday. We done lost like 45, 50 rappers in the last 2 years. And
a lot.
About 15 of those were super influential.
I didn't mean to push that button.
You see the rapid pace that rappers are dying in this generation? We only had two.
We only had two.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like I said, you had a couple side people.
Whatever, you can say that. But it wasn't by violence. Violence and chaos is really strong in this new generation.
Man.
And I've talked about it. We've talked about it, you know, several times over here. You know what I'm saying? How we dropped the ball, you know? Yeah. So we did deep and we did deeper. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get to the origin to a lot of this stuff. And you have to be aware of your accountability in all of it.
Mm-hmm. The support system is different now. So you had that real village back in them Fieldcrest, Nigga Town, City Height, People My Man of Days. When it came to the community. If you showed your ass, you might have got whooped by 3 or 4 people, including your next door neighbor. But we took it away. Yeah.
Hey, what's good, love?
Yeah.
We took it away. Well, you can't touch my kids. Don't discipline my kids. Okay, and you know, we took that away.
Yeah, we got that ass whooped in school. Got paddled.
Okay, definitely got paddled.
If you was in Christian school,
in the neighborhood,
Christian school, you definitely got paddled.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what it's like now. It's like the correction is done. There's no correction no more. Ooh. That's like if you want to get braces on your mouth.
That's a good way of explaining.
It's correcting your teeth. Mm-hmm. Too many crooked teeth people walking around now because they're not correcting anything anymore. If the kids go to school, they can show out how the fuck they want to show out, and then they get home and the parents can't whoop them. That's the more correction.
Parents can't even whoop them
because they calling the DSS on you. You don't even own your own kids because they can call DSS on you and take them away. You can't own land because it's property tax on land, cars, houses. We never really own a damn thing in life if you think about it. All the way down to our kids.
All the way down to our children.
You didn't do nothing, but they said you did. So here come DSS. You know what I'm saying? That's like a perfect example in the movie. even though she she dreamt that or whatever in her head that they was taking her daughter away. They weren't trying to hear shit that she was saying.
They weren't trying to hear nothing she was saying.
Now,
and
at first it threw me
that
off.
happens a lot today. A lot of people ain't trying to hear nobody's story. They ain't trying to hear, what somebody got going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that movie could have went two ways. It could have kept going like it was going. And when she said your daughter died last night, I was thinking like, oh, she died because she didn't have her medicine. She told them she ain't got her medicine. So it could have went it that way too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But he brought it back, which made it even buttery. But I was like, dang, I know she didn't die because they didn't listen to her and she didn't have her medicine. You know what I'm saying? But that happens as well. You taking these kids out of the normality of their family and their parent, and they don't know you, and they're gonna act a certain way. It's gonna cause a different reaction. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely is.
Especially if you got an autistic child. They used to routine. Autistic children, if their environment change, man, you ain't gonna be able to shut them off.
That is so true.
You know.
All right. Tara said the community now is so whack. We're supposed to look out for each other. We definitely are supposed to look out for each other. That's how I was raised.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I still embody that energy today. Even with people that surround around me, even if a stranger come up to me, I'm still looking out. I can have stripped me from everything and I'm still looking out. You know what I'm saying? And that was really the most positive thing. Also, one of the most positive things in this movie as well, because Taraji didn't have nothing, but she was still giving.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Can't even whoop these kids now. Here they go into gun violence and we still get blamed. Right. We dropped the ball years back. Okay? And we got to take accountability to it, but we also can correct it. All right?
Yeah.
I have children myself, and I've learned a lot having my own kids. And I don't have to spank them butts. And my little girl be like, I'm going to call the police. Go ahead, girl. At this point, that's where you want to go, baby. That's where you want to go. So I don't feed you the real reality of what you so-called think that you're doing that's right.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, you don't want to be corrected. All right? I know a lot
they gotta be corrected.
Don't like to whoop their children, and they feel like talking can be that. But these children, I've learned even as a kid, that one shit go into one ear and go out the other. Okay?
Spare the rise for the child.
They turn blue. All right? And you just hoping that they grasp some shit, but sometimes they don't. All right?
Yep.
Now I'm not
spare the rise for the child.
People to beat their kids, but there ain't nothing wrong with a little spanking to correct the energy, baby.
I got my ass whooped all the time. I turned out quite well. Quite well. I got hit with. I got my ass whooped.
I want to, Carol. Look, coming up.
Breaking switches off the tree. Not no small ones.
Go get your own switch. I had to go get my own switch.
You better not get no little one neither. Look, hey, look, belts, drop cords, getting wet in the tub. Getting shoes and shit thrown at me. I done got one of them big heavy ass ashtrays thrown at me. Like, oh, whatever your grandma can find, your mama can find that can throw at you in her range, she might throw it at you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, man. I get tired of, this is what I get tired of. I get tired of the poor ghetto narrative of the stuff that, and this is why we're conditioned to say that's poor or that's rich. It was beautifully done when the movie first came on. You saw an eviction note and a bowl of ramen noodles, right?
Yeah.
Ramen. We call them ramen. They call them ramen. Why? Okay, ramen noodles is poor. Ramen is top tier. Because Chinese people eat this all the time. And we got all these fancy, smancy ramen houses out here, and it's noodles. But the shit that we collect and grew up with, it's ramen? You know what I'm saying? But it's ramen. It's pronounced ramen depending on what neighborhood you came from. But why you gotta make it seem like these noodles, these noodles don't mean poor. We don't. Showed you that these noodles is good eating. You know I still sometimes, matter of fact, when the movie was coming on, it was so crazy. My daughter had some exquisite pack of ramen noodles, chicken and broth. And the texture was different, like fancy. It was good though, and I had made me some before I sat down to watch the movie. And when the movie came home, it showed the ramen, and the vision of them sitting here eating the ramen. And I was
Okay,
like, yeah, that was
that don't
crazy.
determine that you're a struggle. I mean, you're struggling. That doesn't determine that you're poor. It's the
Exactly.
mentality that is, that's your perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what you perceive as a struggle because that's what you've been taught. All
Yeah.
right, that's what you've been influenced to think. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So you automatically, when you see people with this, oh, they struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, let's eat our struggle meals. These struggle meals that we call struggle meals was the meals that got you full.
Exactly.
Okay? Until the next motherfucking day. All right?
Because
So,
in
so we
some,
definitely have to correct the mentality. I want to get her question in right quick, bro.
okay.
She says, how do you feel about, I guess let's go for both of us. How do you feel about people saying Tyler Perry always putting down black women? I mean, putting black women down. Me personally, this was needed. I agree, Tyra. I'm gonna go first, bro, and then you go. I don't really. Let me tell y'all this. Tyler Perry do have some personal issues behind the scenes that I don't agree with. Okay, but when it comes to this movie, okay, I don't really see it as a put down of the woman. Okay, I see it as a wake up call. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I see it as something that you need to change within your own energy. Okay, your own space. Okay, I see it as, I see it much bigger. Okay, and I don't feel like he's putting down the black woman. He's just giving you the mirror of the black woman that we constantly see all the time. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we talk about the narrative of what he put out. And like I said, if you want the narrative to change, you got to change your own mental narrative. Okay?
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's only what he's directing what he sees. And that was a part of his reality growing up too, that I think a lot of us keep forgetting. All right? It's a lot of black men out here that would degrade black women. You know why? Because that's what they was influenced to do. All
Mm-hmm.
right? All right? So if we want to change this, we have to start with ourselves. So I don't really agree. I don't agree with a lot of people thinking that. And the people that actually normally think that are the people that are scared to face their own reflections. All right, go ahead, bro.
Man, that one right there always make my ass itch. Like I say, even though me and Tyler have had our differences, I get it. I understand. That's just like growing up, we had John Singleton and we had the Hughes brothers. And in order to make movies like Boys in the Hood and Minister Society, South Central, you would have to either live that before, you would
Mm-hmm.
have to have known somebody who lived it or heard about it or got the information to study to know what that
Somewhere.
logistic is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is he supposed to talk about? He's supposed to talk about rich Hollywood women who are privileged, who look at bottom round steak as being ramen. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because
Which he
like how they
has,
make the
but
yeah, because how like the ramen noodle narrative is like supposed to be poor. You got motherfuckers that's millionaires and billionaires, and they look at top bottom round steak as poverty food. You know what I'm saying? They look at top bottom round steak as poverty food. Oh, it's not a ribeye or a tomahawk steak and da 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 da. See, it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to it. So when you're trying to make that the narrative that he putting black women down, no. Look at if you had a wheel of 100% and you had to cut it out in a pie, what percentage do you think of the world is living in poverty? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be over half. So I'm not gonna glorify people who are living greatly. He had stuff like that, he got
he
stuff
do.
like
And
that
he
showing.
show you they see him
Yeah,
homeless and fucked up
he got
mentally.
stuff like women getting money and living good and all that type of shit. But let me bring more to the light what I have witnessed, what I've grown up with. It ain't too much fun for me to talk about a life that I didn't get to live until about just 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Okay?
Let me show you where I can relate to in the bottom where I came up from. And I'm going to show you these black women and how, yeah, their struggle, their mental health, their physical, mental, their soul, how they sacrifice everything for their family, their children. They sat back and they played the side piece wife
Right.
and they took the shit from the husband.
That's true.
You know, man, all that. And if they go back and look at his catalog, since everybody want to say it's all the same. It's not. A family that prays, I can do bad by myself. Man, it's a lot of different narratives.
It's a lot of things.
So are y'all speaking
Tyler
on like recently? You know what I'm saying? Even I don't know if you watch She the People.
I haven't.
She the People.
Yeah, but I did see that on my what's name? I'm gonna have to go.
They was trashing She the People.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
Once again, they was trashing She the People, and now you have a black woman who is a politician in a situation where she can make change. But I don't know why people say this show was trash. It was funny. It was informative. It was sad at times. She is a black mother who became the lieutenant general, and she worked under a racist white man who was trying to keep it on the low. And it showed how it was hard for her to try to, when they get me in office, I got to do everything this white man tell me to do, and I can't really make no real change. So she's fighting for her voice to make a real change under this moron who say, here, hey, you have a schedule today and go out and do this, shake people's hands, wave, and make pig noises or whatever it may be. Stuff that he say, I had to do this too. I don't think you might have to do all this that you making me do. This ain't boot camp. I'm supposed to be your assistant.
Okay.
So that show is a great narrative to show how officiated women in office black women don't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? And she's fighting for her voice. That's why I ain't gonna tell you the joy because I want you to see it. And then him giving people like Mo Brooks a chance, funny as hell. Unhand me. Get your hands off me. You know what I'm saying? To put him in the movie, he reminds me of when Kevin first started out. He funny as hell. And then you brought in Harriet, the mama. You brought in the Winslow, and you put her in a whole different comedic light.
Right.
The totally opposite of what she was on the damn Family Matters show. Oh, she a whole mess out. She a whole mess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But it reminds you of their old grandma, their old mama, you know what I'm saying, who didn't play no shit when it came to their daughter, their grandkids, and all that kind of stuff. She finna say what's on her mind. I don't care if I am damn the governor's mansion. You know
right. That is so true.
I think that was something totally different
that
he did. So I didn't like the narrative, and I think it's bullshit. And I think he does a great job of showing the shows he needs to show for the time, basically.
Okay, right. What's really topics that that are very hard, and can be triggering to talk about, like we're doing today. Davida says, I'm a black woman that overcame that narrative, raising my son single-handedly with a disability and a disease. I want to see more of me on the screen for a change. And I think he has done that before in the past, because there's a lot of us out here, that do have children that have a disability or, have a certain disease, and we are doing it alone, you know what I'm saying? And once again, it can be a struggle when you don't have the outlet, you know what I'm saying, to release any type of grief or frustration. You know what I'm saying? If you have that village of people surrounded around you where you can vent to, you know what I'm saying, that helps you to keep going, you know what I'm saying, and break the narrative of being struggle, have that struggle mentality. And like you were saying, that victim mentality, we trying to get away from that, okay?
Yeah.
All right? Also with this movie, we be so caught up in the physical that mentally, we don't know what's real. You know what I'm saying? Or we can't accept the reality that we need to accept to move on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a lot of women that's still struggling in that. And I don't think that this movie was trying to touch on people who are moved beyond the narrative, because we all are, me and you both, I can agree with me and you both, talking about our narrative.
Yeah.
We have moved beyond that, you know what I'm saying? But we have a lot of sisters, we have a lot of great elders that still pushing this narrative. Okay?
Exactly. And he showed a little bit of everything though. He showed how the penal system, the justice system could be crooked with that cop, like she just said. She said that Tayana done her thing when she smacked that cop.
Okay.
Or punched him, rather.
And I definitely would have did the same thing. This woman,
yeah, because you got cops like that,
and you're a part of that shit too.
And they got that oath, so they try to protect each other, like the white cop, the female cop Like she was like, she seen, like Tarsha said, she seen everything, heard everything he said, and the only reason why she wasn't coming out, it was pissing me off. She said, just get the cop going. The girl said she gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? But he was the one who said, if I see you, I'm gonna legally kill you. Who does that? But you got some cops out there that's gun-ho and ready to do that shit every day.
Right. That's true. That's true.
We've been
Because they're
getting
going
killed
off
by
of the
cops.
objective
Yeah.
of what they're influenced about us as a being, you know, us as people. You know what I'm saying?
We've been
So
getting killed by cops.
that
We
has
just
to be
got
broken
cameras
in their
catching.
community as well, you know, and not, you know, it has to be broken in their community as well too, because they really feed off of the narrative and what they're influenced by their own communities about us.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, we're the interest. It's more interesting to exploit us for BBLs and all that kind of stuff when white women been getting surgery since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They've been killing us. They just got cameras to catch it now.
Okay, we do. Everything is being televised. As since Tara says, no, what about the bomb? It pissed me off. That bomb goes all the way back to assumption. We're always assuming shit.
And to make a black woman assume that, like, oh yeah, she got a bomb too. How you know, Sherry? How you know she got a bomb? We don't do that. Hey, look. How, she done built. She like built the. She said, "You real good with computers and stuff like that." When she was telling her like, "You real good with stuff like that," she was like, "No, not really." Okay, she just told you that. So how she built a bomb?
Okay, she just told you this. Just like, I don't know if a lot of people watch The Chi. I'm revamping it because I'm getting, you know, I want to go back. I don't know if a lot of people remember when Keisha, her character, got abducted, right? And during that abduction, the community had a lot of assumptions. Oh, she fast because she's showing all of these pictures on social media with her half naked. But this girl had degrees out the ass. She had scholarships. Okay?
Yep.
She was a straight A student.
Yeah.
Ain't had no children at the time. All right? But it eventually happened. Okay? She was. But she was focused on her career. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she showed other things, but I think that's because of the influence. All right? And that's what we have to kind of, you know, narrate when our children fall victim into these influential things. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have to be you. You know what I'm saying? It's on I think it's Showtime.
Yeah.
But you can
Paramount.
go back on Hulu, Roku,
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus,
Roku,
and watch all of it.
Yeah, Roku channel. It's on about 3 places.
Yeah, and it's really good. It actually talks about the hood, and I've broken down the terminology dealing with the hood. All right, it's everything that's underneath what you are subjected to into your reality. Okay, it's underneath all of this flesh. All right, it's in your darkest hours. All right, and everybody have came from some type of hood. Okay, and they have branched out into their own path. Okay, some people follow the narrative from the hood. Some people don't, depending on what hood you are from.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are so responsible for so many traditions. Some good, some bad. You seen the last episode of The Chi, right?
Yes.
That spades shit went deep, didn't it? That spades shit went deep, didn't it? Like playing spades.
Did okay.
Broke it down to
you can't even play spades 10 days without a
I've been playing spades since I was a kid, and the way he broke spades down, I was like, really? it was like math, and it was true. If you can count cards, you can play spades. If you can count cards, you can play spades.
If you can count cards, you can play spades. What about Tubi, Megan Good? She got on my nerves. The bank teller, the other bank teller. Yes, she did. That was the person we was talking about earlier too, about how she couldn't relate, or she didn't want to be, entertained by it. She's all her assumptions. That's a part of the community. There's always gonna be somebody who's assuming shit, okay, and not trying to understand, okay, what a person is going through. All right. If a person can talk, you see the other two tellers and the other teller and the manager, even though the manager had a complete household, right? She was married with kids, but she could understand her story.
Yeah,
She
she made the sacrifice.
understood what that woman was going through.
Yep. And she stayed. She said, I'm gonna walk you out. And that I call her the Timu Megan Good, because Megan Good could have played that part.
Yeah.
I call her the Timu. I call her the Timu Megan. I can't say that because Timu my joke. Man, all my clothes come great.
Yeah, they got some.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, she was the Wish Megan Good. She was the Wish version of Megan Good. You know what I'm saying? And it pissed me off because I knew she was up to something. So it was her fault when she went back there and wrote on the window there was no bomb, one gun. And that bomb was the thing that was keeping them from storming the building.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But she on the inside, she ain't doing that. She ain't threatening you in no kind of way. She done gave you a chair.
Trying to clear her mind. She's trying to
figure out to give people chairs to sit down.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like that job she had. You know, she trying to work her mental out when she couldn't even just sit with herself. You know what I'm saying? It's too many odds against you already.
Yeah.
All right.
And it was the events of shit happening back to back that led up to the snap.
And we all go through that. You're right. You know, we don't catch a break.
I've been having that month. Look, I've been having that month since last month, man. My bank account been hacked twice. I just got hacked again yesterday morning. It took everything I had last month and the bank taking their sweet time to give it back and all this kind of stuff. So it's like one of them, can I get a break? You know what I'm saying? I was in a car accident 2 weeks ago, really bad car accident. I'm just trying to recover, still trying to recover. I got a concussion. I got a bruised elbow. I got really severe bad whiplash and lower lumbar. Right. I'm struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? Lady just came out and hit me after my daughter's graduation. Hit me on the boulevard, heading to my studio.
But that's physically, right?
Yeah. And then
the
physical was cool. But it was just all the stuff already on top of that. And then the next week, bank account hack. And then next hack. And then this and then that. Oh, back in court again for some child support. That ain't got nothing to do with me. All this type of stuff. It's like, can I get a break? And that's how she felt. It kept happening back to back. It was all about the $40 narrative. It was. Just trying to, well, you got to keep this much in there so it won't go, you know, overdrive and all this. My daughter got to eat, though. Her lunch, she getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? Be back here in 30 minutes. 30 minutes? You been gone 2 hours. I done already called such and such in. Nah, I'm going to have to fire your ass. And you can see how she was just standing there like, like this, like, what is happening? Get back to your crib, shit outside.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Buy yourself out. You know what I'm saying?
But it all started really from the pullover. You took my, come on, Shay, if all this was happening to you in one day, you took my car, you ran me off the road, then you took my car. And you never gave me, obviously that people didn't catch that. Obviously when she went to the bank, she didn't have no ID. You ain't getting my ID back? You took it because my registration was expired. It was expired, so you confiscated my ID, my license. So that's why I can't cash
for check. You know what I'm saying?
Man, look.
So we go through life, and we get hit.
Yeah.
And even though she was getting hit with every narrative, she was still trying to keep going.
Because if she was a bad person,
caught up into that struggle mentality. Peace, bro. That's what keeps you, caught up in the struggle mentality. Yeah. Because you're not taking the time for yourself.
She could have shot him before. She could have shot him while he was on the phone calling 911, but she didn't try to do the right thing. Now, after she shot him, she could have took the money.
Yeah.
She didn't take no money. When they try to get her the money in the bank, I ain't even come here to ride. I just want my $521. You gave me too much. She trying to give me all this money. What's wrong with you?
And that's what the straw is about, you know?
The last straw.
Straw is about, it's the last straw. You know what I'm saying? You be getting hit from every angle.
Or the straw that broke the camel's back, whichever one you want to look at it at.
Okay? You get hit from every angle, okay? And it's that goddamn straw, that one straw that you have to basically, like the lady said, you have to surrender.
What does that even mean, though? The straw that broke the camel's back. You know, we've been having these little sayings and stuff that don't make no damn sense.
That means you have to surrender. That it's time to release. You got to let go.
Yeah.
All right.
I said, okay, I guess it was so much weight on that camel's back.
Yeah, so much weight that she had on her shoulders.
Yeah, just that little thing that dropped on you, it's over with.
Yeah, that's right, bro. You have to learn to detach from everything and sit with yourself. All right?
Yep. You need that
it's important that we do.
Yeah, that's why you need a man cave. You need a she shed.
Okay. You need your space. You need your space. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, and you definitely need some people that you can surround yourself with that celebrate you, like Sis was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? Because celebrating you is, you know, I accept everything, you know, with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't matter what type of flaw it is. I'm celebrating with you. We're going to move past it. Whatever you need, energy you need, I can give it to you because it's vice versa. You know what I'm saying? There are so many people out here that watches you struggle. All right? Mentally. All right?
Yep.
Yep. That football she just wanted to work for, and they made it so much worse part to us. That's true. That's why I say the eyes are already against you. And you have to rise above these fucking eyes.
Yeah. I've always thought that mental exhaustion is worse than physical exhaustion. You know what I'm saying? I just think mental exhaustion is definitely worse.
Yeah. Mentally. Because mentally, if you exhausted, physically you're gonna be drained.
Do nothing.
You're gonna be stuck in that same position.
Yeah.
All right.
Like that mental health, man. I just don't see how people didn't get that, Shay. That's sad. That's sad. We live in a sad day and time of community of people not just caring and giving people grace. If you didn't see that clearly that she broke, and then at the end when it confirmed that she broke and snapped when her baby was never there.
Well, her baby was never there.
And you get this out of it, like really?
Like,
just another struggle.
You know, he showed you the physical the physical transition of it, but at the end was the key to it all. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, spiritually and mentally was the key at the end. Yeah. All right? I know a lot of people that's homeless and they still help. They still give you. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know a lot of people, it's a guy that comes to my job. You know what I'm saying? He homeless, but he comes in and he helps. Even if he getting a few dollars or a hot meal. And it's helping us out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and it's his mentality doesn't display that he's homeless. All right? Mm-hmm. When you think into that space of that mentality, then that is your adorjection of it. You know what I mean? And Taraji's, going back to, like, she had a lot going on. A lot of us have a lot going on, and mentally you got to know how to deal with it. And you still have to sit with yourself. Yeah.
Even when I'm mentally going through something.
That really show, bad. I cried so hard. I didn't even cut you off, bro. But I cried so hard, even just earlier, but last night, because that shit reminded me of my mama. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That relationship.
All the eyes she had to go through, a young parent, a young teenage mother. All right? Yeah. Having so many kids, and she didn't have the guidance that she needed to help her to break these narratives. Okay?
Yeah.
It's only when she got up into her 30s, her late 30s, and she got with her husband she got now. Okay? To realize, damn, she did a lot of sitting with herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then she found out a lot of things that happened to her children at this time. A lot of parents don't have the time to sit.
At all.
We push this mentality on our children.
Yep.
All right?
They mimic what they see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, bro. Even when you feel you're at your weakest point, you still have to choose self to be able to negotiate through everything. That is true. That is so true. That is so true. I was lost on that some. So did the baby die the night before or years with memories? She actually died the night before.
Yeah,
And that
the night before.
mother couldn't even grieve.
Mm-hmm. That's why that blanket was on the bed. You know, when she was
I
at the house,
give her a life at life. Right.
she took that blanket home. You know what I'm saying? That's why the blanket was on the bed.
Right. She took that blanket home. She thought her baby was still with her. Spiritually, her baby is, but she didn't see it physically. All right.
That's what got me though. That montage, that recap. When it
Yeah, that
shows like
recap hurt me.
that's why the principal face, the teacher face looked like that when she was supposedly dropping her off. But we didn't
Right.
know why. But we didn't know
Why
at the
that lady
time.
looking at her like
Yeah,
that?
we didn't know
That's
why
why.
she was looking at her like that. But that's why she was looking at her when they showed it in that sense. Like, oh, she just opened up an empty door. That was
Just crazy.
nicely done, man.
I'm
It was
telling you,
nicely done.
that was a very powerful movie. That's why I say we have to look at stuff from a different angle. You can't look at it from an angle where you're going to be triggered. You know, you have to look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we have to make a change. You know what I'm saying? And change starts with you. You know,
Yeah.
if you change, the rest will follow.
You gotta
Okay?
you gotta be the change that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody think differently of this movie, man, I know everybody got their own opinion, but this is just cut and dry. You just a cold-hearted motherfucker and just can't relate. That's what it is. You just
Right.
can't
Just like
either
that
you
lady in the bank.
cold-hearted and don't care, or you just can't relate.
Just like that lady in the bank. She knew that lady lost her baby, not the manager, but everybody else knew. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She came in and said it the baby died.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So those other two women knew. But
Yeah.
that woman that knew also, the one that just didn't give a damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yep. And
And
I'm
that's what
saying,
society has, it's sad, that's what society has succumbed to.
and what that old woman said, man, that's the line of the year. It's
Yeah, that
expensive
was
to be
the
poor.
line. Yeah.
It's expensive to be poor.
And she wasn't talking about physically.
No. Because you can't get the help you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, because somebody always wants something. Somebody
Okay?
always wants something for you to get help. You know what I'm saying? Like, you looking down on the dude that's out on the street. Like, people like, you know, every time I try to feed the homeless, I done blanket drives. I love doing stuff like that. And people are like, well, why you give him $20 for a D? I said, he ain't going to do it, go buy a bottle of liquor. I said, you know what? Whatever get him through the night, he sleep under the bridge. So if the liquor keep him warm through the night, then I done my part. God already recognized that I done my part. So whatever he does with that $20, it's his prerogative because it's no longer mine. You know what I'm saying? And people got to stop doing that. Like, well, I know he just going to go drinking away. He going to go do this. He homeless. You go sleep under the bridge for one night. See how you feel.
Okay.
Anybody going to tell you can't have your beer, your glass of wine, or your shot or whatever before you go to sleep? You know what I'm saying? So whatever get him through the night.
Whatever he got to do to get him through the night to the next day, baby. Okay?
Yeah.
I
You might
played
have
my
saved that
part.
man's life.
Okay?
He might was going to kill himself.
Okay? And that ain't got nothing to do with you. You know? That's that person that has to make a change within themselves.
Exactly.
Okay?
You done your part.
We just hope that they do better. Whatever we do, we give. You know?
Yep. You done your part, man.
You know what I'm saying? Bro said, before your comment says, he said, this is why the community has to be there for each other. It shouldn't take a breaking point for us to come together. And that's the same thing with funerals. It shouldn't take us to come together, you know, when somebody transitions or when somebody acts out or do something very drastic. Yeah. All right? We shouldn't just be coming together at those moments. Those don't create change. I'm sorry, it doesn't create a change. It just band-aids it to the next tragic event.
Exactly. And as heartless as the manager was, I'm thinking the landlord was even more heartless. Because she knew, she had to know that this baby died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you seen her walk out of the house with nobody. You was talking shit to her the whole time. Or you can
The
feed
whole
him, but you ain't got
time.
my rent. You seen that she imaginarily put a kid in the car. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you. I'm telling
But
you, a
want
lot
to
of
be all
people,
broken
they
hearted
see
when you
your
watch the
struggle,
news.
but don't give a fuck. And we not like we, once again, they see you struggling physically, but because mentally you off, okay?
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck. All right? They don't give a fuck, and it's sad, but it's true. You know?
Yeah.
What sis says, you know, some people said they didn't like it. Is you weird or what? They weird because they couldn't understand the concept.
Like
You know,
yeah.
Everything is not, you know, a downfall for a community. It's supposed to be a wake up call. All right. All right. Now let's put it in this perspective. Taraji could have played victim.
Yep. She could have.
Yeah.
But what was so crazy for her to not realize that her daughter was dead. She was out of here.
Okay.
She was out of here.
She was still stuck in the loop, bro. She was still stuck in the loop because she was still trying to get the $40. She was still trying to pay the rent. She was still trying to go to work. She was still trying to make sure she got her medicine, not even realizing the baby ain't even here.
The Matrix. You gonna take the blue pill or the red pill?
Okay.
That was the Matrix right there, man, because everything still existed in her world.
Okay.
And but in reality, everybody was looking at her like, what?
Yeah, like she crazy.
Should have made them know, she gone. And you still ain't giving her no grace. And you still ain't giving her no grace.
Still not giving her no grace. This movie made me break to a space. You know, it took me back, but it also made me realize how far I've came as an individual. But I also still see this narrative in our community.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why it broke me. Because there's so many people struggling mentally. All right.
Yeah, it ain't even just about black.
What's real and what's not.
It ain't even just about black. It's about human.
Yeah, human period. That ain't just human. Because they displayed not only our community, they displayed the white community too.
A lot of black and brown communities, white communities, yellow communities going through it, man. And I think people talk all this crazy stuff about the narrative of the movie and stuff, but I think there's going to be a lot of women that's going to be very appreciative of this movie. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he did this one. He did his big one for women with this one. And not just women, just people in general.
She needed to go to jail. You know why she needed to go to jail? It ended with her going to jail. Yeah. Because jail also represents isolation.
Mm-hmm.
She needed to sit with herself.
Yeah.
She needed to accept. Okay?
Yeah.
Everything that came with that. Transition with her daughter and within herself. She had to accept everything that she lost. You know?
And if I was to extend this movie and you did see it after the fact she got arrested, I wouldn't put her in prison. I would put her in a mental facility or hospital to help her regain her reality. You feel me?
Right.
Because people like that don't deserve to go to jail and be locked up. I understand that lives were taken or a life was taken. You know what I'm saying? That she took that one life. But unfortunately, these things happen when people don't support and come to help people.
Right.
It's different when it was premeditated. Premeditation and intent. Because people don't understand that intent is the word that gets you fucked up in the game. Assault and battery with the intent to kill. Marijuana with the intent to distribute. See, that word is what gets you them years. Because you had premeditation, you had intent.
Aware of what you was doing.
She had no intent of any of that.
All right, she wasn't aware of that.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm not coming here to rob no bank. I didn't mean to shoot that nigga, but he wouldn't listen. And
And
he can
that's
say,
just
yeah, you set it
how it
all
is
up.
in reality.
When he tried to place that blame
Exactly.
on her, that's
Yeah.
when she snapped. The dude clearly looked at her name tag and said her name. And she trying to tell, she was so gone. Oh, this was so good. She was so gone when he was saying all this stuff that she did. She couldn't even voice it loud enough. She was like, he read my name tag. I don't even know them. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't even get it out.
All right.
Because he was just running that mouth and he was just talking over her and loud and just delirious. And it's like she couldn't even waste her breath high enough to say, he read my name tag. No, I don't even know him. I didn't do this. And it was just like, all right, you got to go because I got to get to my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I also want to talk about, because I know a lot of people was talking about, where was the father in this movie?
Same place the father normally always at 50% of the time. Like, what does that even matter? What did she say? Your children are very lucky. You're very lucky. You know what I'm saying? To have a husband and like, you know what I'm saying? Because she that was already voiced. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Obviously, the father just wasn't in the picture because, he
He
just
didn't
wasn't no good. Like a lot
want
of
to be.
fathers.
Right. He didn't want to be.
Yeah, didn't want to be. So a lot of people can't take on what they call burdens. It's not a burden. It's just that parents, we don't get to pick and choose who our kids are going to be. And even no matter how much we raise them to be good in the perfect household, shit can go left.
Yep.
Because they
Things can
have the influence. Can't be with
right.
them every time. I told my daughter, my other twin, my grandson will be 2 in August. I said, baby, I told her when she had that baby, I said, look, when you become a parent, you wear your heart on the outside of your chest for the rest of your life. And you become a worrier for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? And if you got several kids, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, man, you know how much you thinking about every day if they okay and who they hanging with and what they do. You can't be there. Like, you can't be there. I don't know, baby. You haven't hit me back yet.
That is so true. And I also want to add this too, because even though she understood the fact that the baby father didn't want to be there, like you said, we don't pick and choose. Sometimes we don't. We just, I'm gonna be real with y'all right quick, okay? Because I say this a lot. Okay, sometimes you don't get to pick and choose who, because sometimes that person might be an outstanding person, and outstanding person at the beginning, and for a few years, and the next thing, things change, right? But there are sometimes you have signs, you see the flag, okay? There's a lot of people out here, all right, that are actually having children, all right, with people because they feel like how they look is good, okay? They got a lot of money, okay? You're actually becoming intimate for the wrong reasons, okay? And then these innocent children are into, and they come into play, and it falls back always on the mother. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that these children have everything they want. All right? When I was growing up, my granddaddy would always tell me, basically keep your legs closed, of course, but also you got to be cautious who you have children with. Okay? Because not everybody is ready to be a parent. And obviously who Taraji had a baby with, all right, it was all lights and glimmer and gold at one point. Okay? For that moment until that baby came into play.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I'll say this about dudes. If you don't want the headache, all right? If you don't want that title mentally, because people are going to see you as that, okay? You have to solely protect yourself, right? There's a lot of women out here single with children, okay? Because we was tripped off of the facade that a motherfucker gave us. All right? And that's vice versa. There's a lot of men. I deal with men too that's single parents. All right? And then come to find out the mother ain't shit. Okay? But we still got to keep going regardless of what narrative we trapped into, or we tapped into. Okay? Well, you don't have to be trapped into it because you can release yourself from that. All right? But you tap into that narrative. Right? So I say this for the new generation. Okay? Be aware. of your decision. Okay?
Yeah. What you do
Get
now can cost you a
yourself
lifetime.
together. Okay? Always make sure you was right. Like my daddy told me, and he always say, I don't care if a man makes money. I don't care if he got all that money. You make sure you have your own.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. That's what I
Okay?
tell my girls. Don't ever drop your bag for no man.
Okay?
Don't ever get rid of
Don't ever
your bag.
lose yourself. Okay? Because Taraja definitely lost herself towards the end. I mean, lost herself through that transition.
Yeah.
All right? She lost herself through having this baby, trying to make sure this baby is all right. A lot of mothers do. We lose ourselves trying to make sure our children is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers,
Don't ignore them red flags.
you know, they're fathers too.
Yep. Do not ignore those red flags with people you get involved with. I'm living proof, man. I was engaged 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know, but was about to get married 6 months ago. That all ended after 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? It happens because sometimes we are condemned by who we are attracted to. God will never send you the woman or man that you need. I mean, he'll never send you the man or woman that you want, but who you need. You know what I'm saying? It's always
We
like that.
definitely put our needs, okay,
And
or we
people,
put our wants over our
yeah.
needs.
And I'm gonna tell you what we guilty of, all of us, is always the people that we don't really want that treat us better than anything.
You got that right. The opposite.
You know what I'm saying? It's just so it's like women are dating men for pockets and men are dating women for looks.
That's true.
I want my woman. I'm attracted to natural. That's just me. I don't mind a little makeup, a little something here and there, whatever like that. But I just like natural. And when I mean
I'm
natural,
attracted to the mind. Okay, because I need to see what your mind do.
It's
okay.
A woman most beautiful when she wake up in the morning with just her. Like you don't need all that.
Okay.
I mean, it's cool. Like, don't ever think. Well, I put it like this: I don't mind however a woman looks if I'm attracted to you, but just know you ain't got to do all that for me.
Right.
If you're gonna do it for yourself, that's fine. But you know, you ain't got to impress me with all the makeup and all everything. You know, the lashes and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's cool. I'm not loving you and dating you because of that narrative. Like, I like to see you in your personal element before you put all that on. They call it makeup for a reason because you're made up.
Right.
And sometimes these days, right. I hate for my daughter. My last baby girl is about to be 11 next month, and she doesn't like how she looks without all that weave and stuff. She's 11, and you take her hair out. She got her pretty big fro with her little chocolate self. She don't like that. She thinks she's ugly with her natural.
Society has made it that beauty is weave. They took away the natural, beauty. Yeah, it's a lot of. I used to be like that. I used to couldn't go out the house without makeup because I didn't like my skin, and that's because my own internal issues of me feeling like and what other people thought, or what other people were saying about me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to get into a space where you don't give a fuck what nobody say. Just be you. Because being you is the most sexiest motherfucking thing that you can ever do. Yeah. That's the most powerful thing that you can ever carry.
And I don't care how pretty you are.
Y'all see me with weed, but this shit don't make me. Y'all see me on my roughest days on these lives. Shit, I don't be giving a damn.
And I'm the type of man, I don't care how pretty you are, how thick you is, and how none of that stuff is. If this right here ain't right, if your mind ain't beautiful to me, you can't have no conversation with me.
So I said, I'm attracted to the mind. Your mind conversation don't reel me in, okay? Because it ain't about the look going on with me.
Number sexual stuff going on over this way. Like, if you can get my mind, you can have my heart all day.
Okay. I could be in love with the brokest motherfucking nigga in the bank. I mean, in the world.
Most definitely. Because I know we can build money. We can get that.
Okay, we can always get that. We can always establish it. Because your mindset is totally powerful. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah. And people be quick to say, women be quick to say, but I'm so broken. I said, baby, you ain't broken. You just under construction. Take some time for yourself. You under construction, stop jumping.
I love it. Yeah. I ain't broken. You just under construction. You gotta reconstruct, baby.
I had a female tell me, I said, "Nah, I need to heal." So she was like, "Fuck all that healing shit." She's like, "The best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. I ain't with all that healing shit." I'm like, "What? What?" I was speechless. You don't want to heal, baby girl? Nah, I ain't got time to heal. Fuck all that. I got to keep it moving. For what? For what?
Okay, for what?
This is the craziest shit I have ever heard, man. Like, this is where we at with it right now, though. And this is why our kids don't know no better. Cause you a great grandma now at 45. Ain't no more mamas. You know what I'm saying? Like, grandmas come early, and it's like babies having babies. So who y'all growing up together?
Yeah, I grew up with my mama. Sure did.
Yeah,
I sure did.
You know what I'm saying? The only difference between us Generation X babies is that we had that old. We had them porch talks. We had
did.
That. It wasn't no texting me or this and me, or it was somebody screaming, hollering, calling you come in the house, or that street light gave you your time to get your ass home.
Okay, you knew when them motherfuckers and you better be at the house.
7:59, 8 o'clock is coming on.
Okay, we already knew. Okay.
and you thought you was a shit your junior senior year when you got dubbed that key. You had a key around your neck and a dime for the payphone.
Okay, we definitely had structure, and a lot of the structure is not being pushed today.
No correction.
Or
everybody walking around with no braces.
That's right. Or being corrected.
Braces
hurt.
A
lot of people are not correcting it.
When you got braces and braces on your mouth, it hurt. It was a process. You were getting corrected.
Ooh, I like that.
Ain't no
I like that.
Shit no more. You know what I mean? Everybody, kids is walking around with crooked teeth and shit. You know, and not physically, visually looking, but metaphorically speaking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no correcting anything. Oh, you feel funny if you correct someone. And I always tell like my kids, I let them know, look, baby, look. I tell them, look, I'm gonna listen to you because I'm gonna give you your say so. I want to hear you out, but that don't mean I gotta agree to it.
It's true.
But I'm gonna listen to you because some people they feel like some parents feel like I ain't gotta listen to shit. I ain't listening to shit.
Right.
I don't care what happened.
They ain't gonna listen to that. They gonna do what I say, and that's not the correct way to correct anything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, back in the day, we really didn't have a say. Like we didn't really have a say. Like you weren't about to talk bad to nobody. You walked to somebody's house. It was 5 people now. You spoke to say, hey, everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got kids now walk in my house and not speak to me. That's disrespectful. Well, he was taught to speak. He wasn't supposed to speak unless spoken to. Huh?
No, we see, and that's the problem. And that's the problem.
You know what I'm saying?
You coming in my house, you got to speak. Hey, how you doing?
And that's because it's no interpersonal skills anymore. You know, it ain't no more sitting down at the table asking your wife and your kids how was their day, eating dinner, coming home and watching TV at 8 o'clock on the dot. Everybody sitting in front of the TV. Now you can just watch it whenever you want to watch it. I told my daughters, I said, it was a point in time TV used to go off. I said, what you mean go off? They said, what you mean go off? I said, oh, everybody know the last show of the night is MASH. And you heard, that shit coming on the American flag and white noise.
Exactly. Okay.
But the TV went off.
TV went off. Okay. It wasn't. Yeah. It was. The streaming was done. Okay.
And my daughter was like, wait. What you mean went off, Daddy? I said, I just told you shit went off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had the TV guy. That shit was blank bars.
It sure was. Everything went off at a certain time, and if you didn't watch it, you missed it.
You missed it. That's what I'm saying. I was like, man, Martin came on at 8:30. Living Color came on at 9 o'clock. Everybody was right there in front of the TV on Thursday night to watch that shit. And if you missed it, we didn't get that luxury of not missing it until about 8 years later when fucking you could have a DVR and record your shit.
Right. Well, we can record it and go back and watch.
Who taped up my stories?
Okay. Recorded all the stories.
What in the hell?
And all of that.
What in the hell? Just Thundercats. The strawberry shortcake.
Okay. I'm telling you. You had it. You missed it. And I think, that's why, I could agree with a lot of things that's happened, just in the world personally, because it's actually getting back to the times where a lot of the shit was corrected.
Yeah.
All right. There was moralities, morals. There was respect. There was structure. All right. And we have to get back to the time because freely everything is happening in a free spirited way where there's no structure. People do what they want to do. You can do what you want to do, but there's consequences to the shit.
Yep. They said there are laws. It's two different types of laws. There are laws of the universe governed by the Most High, and laws of the land governed by man. And
that's
even
true.
though the Bible say one thing, if God say, my daughter, you can come to me in any form of fashion, meaning that I should be able to go to church butt naked if I wanted to. But if you do that, guess what? Your ass going to jail.
All right, you're gonna be condemned.
So the laws of the universe ain't matching with the laws of man, and it's man-made materials.
Right. And we get caught up in that so much, which also, influences our mentality on a different level as well too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because we living by the laws of the land instead of living by the laws within you internally,
Mm-hmm.
which is a spiritual, entombment within yourself. You know what's right. You don't need man to tell you what's right.
Exactly. You felt it inside you. It wasn't your gut. It wasn't your gut. It was your intuition. Men and women have it. It was your sixth sense. And then you ain't even got to go that far. If it don't feel right, just go walk away.
Right. Walk away.
That's
walk away.
That's your chakras going off on you.
You know what I mean? That's your levels of, attunement within you. It starts from the root all the way up. It's allowing you to feel this for a reason. Yeah. All right. And a lot of us ignore these, these signs, these flags, the influence. And we just like, oh, it's just society. It's harmless. But a lot of these things can be harmful, if you're not aware of it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a trend and everything has become very chaotic. I try to keep my kids away from a lot of the stuff, but I also teach them the shit. I also want them to see it too. Yep. Okay?
You can't beat them for nothing you ain't educating them on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, I've always said that I don't believe in common sense because what's common? I believe in individual sense. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe in, individual sense. If somebody picked you up from work, Shay, and they say, like, we're gonna stop by the bank real quick. What we stopping by the bank for? Oh, we just gotta grab something. Come on, look out for us for a second. They both running the bank. Well, what the hell are they doing? Oh yeah, I'm about to get up out this car and walk around the block, going about my business.
Your stuff is letting you know something ain't right.
Yeah, cause they were like, "What you mean? You gonna snitch?" I said, let me put it like this: if you pick me up from work and I just know I was going home, and then y'all boys stop by the bank, say y'all about to run in, y'all rob the bank, come back out, jump in the car. I said, what y'all do? And y'all gonna spit it out. We get caught. They say, well, D, are you gonna snitch? Let me think. I got kids. I got this and that going on. I said, yeah, I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna snitch on some Charleston White type shit. Because I had no knowledge that they was gonna rob the bank. Now, if I knew we was going to rob the bank, and I conspired to do it with y'all, and we got caught, I'm gonna stand on it, and I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna do my time. You know what I'm saying? But you pick. Now I was supposed to go home trying to watch TV. Y'all, this was y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to spend 30 years in jail for conspiracy and not see my kids.
That you didn't even have nothing to do with, but you want to stand on that no snitch shit.
Exactly. No. Now, if you knew they was gonna rob the bank, you got to be accountable and take accountability and do that time.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
See, right. That was your choice.
It's a thin line between doing the right thing and snitching. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I think, the thin line is like you just said, if you're aware of the situation, of course, I can understand you're not snitching, but at the same time, you gotta be accountable for the shit you do. Yeah. If you're not in awareness of it, I'm not gonna fall for your bullshit.
Exactly. But what if somebody killed your baby and you know who? What if somebody killed your friend baby and you know who did it? You ain't gonna say nothing. What if somebody killed your baby? You gonna want them to tell you? See, that's
exactly. It's a lot of unsolved murders here in our community. It's a lot of unsolved murders here in Greenwood. Nobody don't want to say nothing.
Don't want to say nothing. But that was your best friend, though. You know what I'm saying? That's some crazy. But it's a thin line, bro. But it's like let's get real. You used to babysit that little boy all the time. You know who killed him. You ain't gonna tell your best friend.
Don't feed them. Don't play with them.
she'll be some cold, kind of cold when it comes to the kids. It's just a life, period. See, you can't just pick and choose who you don't want to tell on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wrong, right is right, wrong is wrong. And then you been sitting up here, free little Kenny to us backwards, but he killed 4 old people.
Right. That shit don't make sense to me.
What the fuck just happened?
All that shit doesn't make sense to me at all.
Free K.
Like, I be like shocked that people, you know, we stuck in this era. Like, well, I'm not, but a lot of people are stuck in this era of what?
Free little Kenny, free K Killer. His name got killer in it. You know what I'm saying? He done killed 4 people. Free him to us backwards.
I don't get it. I don't get it either, bro. I really don't get it.
So he can get out,
lock their ass up.
Yeah,
okay.
Wow. So he can get out and kill 4 more old people.
But then it comes to the issue if they take out somebody that's your friend, your family, or your kid. Now you want to say fuck these people, but it was just free them. You know, like we gotta, we really got to change the narrative in your mentality. The mentality has, and you know, the narrative has to change from here. You know, if we want to see different results, we got to ready the mind. You know, we got to get back to that. You know, we have a lot of things that we endure because we allowing it.
Exactly. A lot of us that grew up in poverty-stricken areas, we was dreamers. Like me growing up in Fieldcrest, man, I wanted to get out. So when I went to the military,
we were dreamers and we were into.
It took me, when I went to the military, I saw stuff that I only dreamed about in my history books. That changed my mentality. It changed the way I thought, the way I ate, the way I moved. You know what I'm saying? And people was like, I can't believe I got a friend who was a black helicopter pilot, a fucking B-40 and a black stallion helicopter pilot. And I said, yeah, me and Rasha Royale, man, we trained at Greenwood Tech at 14 years old in the Aviation One program, flying little Cessnas and stuff. Never thought I'd fall in love with flight until I went to jail, man, to ROTC. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you can do anything in life you want. I posted pictures the other day, me and my helicopter. Pictures of all type of shit. And was doing it at 18, 19, got my wings at 20 years old. You can do whatever you want. And
exactly. A lot of us dream about getting out of the hood. A lot of us dream about getting out of poverty. Yeah. You know, a lot of us even had shows back then that showed us the higher vibration of a family union, as they would say, the American dream, right? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us dreamed a lot about that a lot of times. I know I was one of them personally. Don't do that. You know, a lot of us dreamed about a lot of that. I was one of those personally. You know, I dreamed about so much stuff, you know, as a kid. And I actually we was tapping into a lot of stuff when we didn't have all these influences back then. So
imagine we would have had what they got now.
Yourself, right? And we dreamed a lot of the things that we want to do. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people nowadays that dream about this. You know, a lot of the generation today dreamed about what they want their life to be when they was kids, you know? Then we have some children that really dreamed for a short period and couldn't even dream no more because of their surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And it started to influence and take over what they really want. Your dreams is actually supposed to be what you want to be real in your reality. So if you stop that, you know, that force of energy, you know, to be being tapped into, then you're going to be straight down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of the things that I tapped into when I was younger, I'm actually am today.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a teacher.
You teaching?
And I'm teaching. It might not be in a classroom, but you know, teaching. But I'm teaching. Where I work at, I'm surrounded around a lot of young people. I'm teaching. Okay? Like I said last time, they call me auntie. Yeah, big auntie, not the little one. Okay? Because I'm teaching.
It's like them porch talks. You know what I'm saying?
I give them the nourishment they need, you know, the nurturing they need. I give them the knowledge they need, okay, the guidance. If they need to talk to me, they call, you know, or they'll pull me to the side at work. What do you think about this? Let me tell you something, because I can only give you what I've experienced.
Yeah.
Okay? And what I grew up around and what I seen. All right? So, and I give them that knowledge, that wisdom. Okay? That's how we have to be. That's what the village is. Okay?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
The village
And
ain't about, I ain't got nobody to watch my kids. Okay? It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that. The village is supposed to help you with your mental. All right? So you
pure
can rise
fact.
above that struggle mentality, that poverty. All right? So, you know, I teach wherever I go. It be strangers come up to me. And my people be looking at me like, what the fuck?
You're easy
Yes,
to
I might
approach.
hug a complete stranger.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was telling my ex that. She was like, I'm just talking to people. I said, because they approach me. I'm not a threatening black man. I'm different. They feel comfortable.
Right.
They feel safe. I can have a woman, women mostly, women will just start telling me stuff. I had a lady come up to me one day in Walmart, man. She just start she needed a hug. I hugged her. And she just started telling me her issues. And I gave her the
That's
best
all
advice I could give her. You know what I'm saying? That some people are easy to talk to, easy to approach. They don't look
right.
threatening. They have a good aura,
And we
energy.
all can be that way. We just have to be
Yeah.
in that attunement to listen.
Yeah. Frequencies and energies don't lie, man. You know what I'm saying?
We all
Like,
can tap into that. You know, somebody just needs somebody to talk to. They just need to release. And like I said, grief is just a formation of releasing.
exactly.
All right? And
You,
if you don't have that outlet, you're going to continue to struggle.
and I'm sure this movie triggered a lot in people to let them just let it out. Like you did in the beginning of this live, you let it out. And it hit you so fucking hard, you didn't even realize what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You was just talking, and then it just you clicked
I
on,
had
you
to
touched
release
on
the
something,
grief
and
because I had to
said,
release
oh boy.
it because I've seen it so many, and I still see it.
And I said, let me get
You
on
know?
here. I said, let me come up here real quick. I don't really do this a lot. I said, let me come up here because sister's feeling it right now. I need to tap in. We have a duality, man and woman
Okay.
talk.
From man and woman perspective,
So a lot of
right?
men ain't gonna tap in. They don't care about this right here. This too positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't talking about some, let you be talking about some ratchet shit that happened at the club last night, bitch got her head busted and all that kind of stuff. They won't jump on your live, and it's like, what happened? What's going on? You know, it's just shit that's not informative. It ain't nothing that's helping us. You know what I'm saying? These kids got all the technology they need. They're so much smarter than we were. They have so much more access, and they're using it for bad, for scamming, to all this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we had what they had just 10 years ago, Shay, when we was on that stage. When we was performing, when we the pioneers of the rap game in the city. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, imagine if we had all the access that they have right now, the TikToks and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we move different because we're from a different cloth. We would have moved different. We would have flipped it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We would have flipped it.
And some of them, they know how to get it. And there's some very, very smart streamers out here. They know how to work it. But a lot of our children that are ghetto stricken and stuff, they don't know how to make it work, so they get frustrated, so they start scamming.
That's right.
Taking. You know what I'm saying? They didn't
you know
have
why
nobody
they
to
scamming
teach them.
though? You know why they scamming? Because they ain't got it. They ain't got the village. They ain't got the support.
Nothing.
They ain't got the guidance.
Yeah. They look at some of these streamers like old boy the Sanat kid. You know what I'm saying? He had people to teach him and support around him. And he took that and said, you know what? I'm finna pay $3 million for 100 streamers and teach them. You know what I'm saying? $12 million later in the last like 2-3 years for this kid. You know what I'm saying? But it's good to see kids like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I
love to see that.
It's bad, man. And this is the reason why my bank accounts are compromised. Because nobody want to go out and stomp the ground and get it no more. Like, these kids want to pick and choose their jobs. We didn't give a damn what it was. You gonna give me a job?
Okay, we didn't care what it was.
They want to start
up
here.
Make it work. Okay.
They want to start up here. They don't want to start down here.
Right. They don't want to start at the struggle. Yep. And the struggle is supposed to make you stronger.
They don't
you know?
Want to earn it.
They don't want to earn it, and they don't want to go through they don't want to earn it. They don't want to go through the struggle. But like I've always said, you know, that struggle is supposed to make you stronger.
Exactly. I seen a little boy from down the street the other day. He was about 10 years old. I had to give him $20. He hadn't even done nothing for me. I was just so proud of him. He was pushing the lawnmower. Shay, he was pushing the lawnmower.
Okay.
Shay, he was pushing the lawnmower.
Something you don't see a lot. today.
I said, what you doing, little man? He said, can I cut your grass? I said, well, my grass just got cut last week, little buddy, but here, he go $20. He said, yeah, I'm trying to start my own business, my lawnmower business. I said, oh, you want to get into lawn care? Okay, all right. I said, here go $20, man. Gave him a hug. I said, keep doing your thing.
And we
I said, he cutting
need
yards
more
in the
people like
neighborhood.
that.
Even if he don't do it all the way good, he got to learn.
Right. That's true. It's a little boy that come through in our neighborhood. He knocks on the door. He want to take out your trash.
Yeah.
And sometimes my trash be already taken out. If I got cash on me, I give it to him. Hell, I ain't even got no trash bag, but here you go. Because I see you doing something positive. You're trying to do something different in life.
The community is supporting him. Because who's to say if we don't support this kid 10 years from now, you hear about him shooting somebody at QT.
Okay.
Or whatever it may be. That's who these kids are, though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to, when next time I see him,
starts from the beginning.
Right. Next time I see him, my sister was like, you need to tell him to get you a cash out because I'm getting him a cash out because I normally don't carry cash.
Yeah.
So I am gonna have to, kind of get him to like, look, just keep something to the side for him because he comes pretty much every week.
Yeah.
So I try to have something for him. If I ain't got that, hell, I give him something out my house,
After all I experienced, I'm seriously
a snack or something, because 9 out of 10, he probably just trying to work to get him some snacks, so he's trying to save money for something else.
It's so hard though. It's so hard, sis, because I went through all these bank issues and still going through these bank issues now. I want to go back to just keeping my money in the safe of my house, but it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's like, okay, fuck a bank, I'm gonna keep all cash, and now I'm walking around $400-500 on me, and somebody robbed me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least with the cards or whatever, I can they locked or whatever. You can't get that. But if I got cash on them, you can take it. But then the banks is screwing you over now. You know what I'm saying? You think you can get with an all-black bank like what Killer Mike got. You know what I'm saying? It has issues too because you don't own the bank. You know what I'm saying? You just have an investment with the bank. You know what I'm saying? So they still control the narrative at the end of the day. So it's like, hey, what do we do? You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard, man.
It is.
It is.
It's hard. It is hard. And I'm not, we never said it was going to be easy. We all know it's not going to be easy. You just have to, you have to think on things a little different, and you can't allow it to hinder you. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the odds are already against you.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to maneuver around these odds. All right? Gracefully. All right?
Gracefully.
And we definitely need that grace.
And forgiveness. And forgiveness. And I be telling people, like, anybody who ever done me wrong, Shay, mostly females in relationships. I really never had a lot of friends cross me. Just mainly betrayed in relationships. I forgave those women because I didn't forgive you for you. I forgave you for me.
Okay,
for me. I ain't telling you to forgive him for you, no matter how bad he treated. Forgive him for you because he's sleeping good at night. And you over here thinking and wanting and what could I could have done better? Because we all blame ourselves.
Okay, still stuck in victim mode. Okay.
Forgive them people and release that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop holding grudges and stuff and all that stuff, man. Get that to them people, let them have that energy. Right. Because when you hold on that energy and holding on to old pictures of them and old voicemails of them and all this stuff, you just keeping that on you. You right. I said I prayed that God get that hurt off me. And when he got that hurt off me, it's like, okay, I forgive you. I don't want that back. You can take that over there. Right. You somebody else's problem now.
Right. Just like, me going through my situations and my trauma growing up. The older I got, I realized I got to forgive.
Yeah. Because you holding it. You harnessing all that not forgiving.
Right. So I was able to forgive those men who hurt me. Yeah. But I didn't really forgive it from them. I forgave it for myself so I can release that energy.
Yeah.
And I can move on with my life.
Because you might find yourself in a situation like, because you ain't forgave this person, you see them at the mall or out in public, even though it's been 2 years, you don't still have a closure. You ain't gonna get no closure. You normally don't get no closure for them. That's why you gotta just know that they wasn't for you and just forgive them. Because if you see them out in public, you don't know what kind of triggers you're gonna have, and you might do something to somebody. You feel
Right.
me? Once you see them, you ain't seen them in 2 years, but something snapped in you.
Something snap.
And if you, Lord forbid, you one of them females who carry a pistol.
Okay. Okay. Because I've been there, done that. Okay.
You gotta forget. You gotta let it go.
Okay.
Like, hold on. Is that Oh, I didn't think I was gonna act like that, officer.
And
this been 2 years.
Because you got to forgive. You have to heal. You know what I'm saying? And you have to understand the narrative of hurt people. People.
Yeah.
But it's true. Okay.
Yeah.
People only gonna do what you allow them to do, but they also are gonna do what they are prone to.
Yep. You're gonna be either the abused or the abuser. Just like with the whole R. Kelly situation, not knowing that his sister was raping him and his brother for years.
Right.
He gonna either become the abused or the abuser. He became the abuser. What's the word? Allegedly. Allegedly in there.
Right.
We had a Facebook popos come for you.
Okay.
You gotta say allegedly. But we condemn people too much, man. We condemn people too much. And when a person has already done their time, I feel like in that situation, not to change the subject, but everybody who was involved should go. Because that man cried out for help. He asked for help. Y'all depicted in those stories he asked for help. A lot of those women was lying. That came out later. That man had been in jail for like 7 years, 8 years. He done his time. Just let him out. And y'all came back after him, really, which should have been double jeopardy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
30 years. You know what I'm saying? And them girls was grown and they wanted to go.
They wanted to go. They was aware.
Point, so now let me connect you
Parents was too.
Yeah. The parents, man, y'all the main ones. Y'all act like he didn't date Aaliyah and marry Aaliyah or something. Oh, so he was the golden goose back then. He was paying, signing everybody paychecks. So everybody was good. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? You didn't care till the money went dry.
That's what I said. Once the money went dry and he wasn't paying them off like that no more, now everybody want to have a hand out and say, well, and point the finger.
Yeah. And I tell people, you can never make me stop listening to his music. His music raised me because I don't know Robert. I know R. Kelly. And whatever Robert does on his free time.
Entertainer. We don't know him personally.
And whatever Robert does on his free time is Robert's business. You know what I'm saying? But you will not take away the gift. You will not take away the gift that he gave the world.
He definitely was gifted and he was talented through all his grief, his trauma. You know, he was still the abuser, allegedly, you know. So
and he never had no concrete evidence, but you're gonna let Diddy out. You bet not. You bet not. If you let Diddy out, but you better let Robert out. That's all I can say. You know
That's true.
Saying?
That's
because
true.
You didn't even have no concrete evidence. You got concrete evidence on Diddy pretty much. You got videotapes.
Okay.
You got all this stuff that they ain't letting the public know that they got. But we seen that video. He beating our ass in that hotel.
That's true.
That's
just like the video that came out with R. Kelly back in the day in the early 2000s with the young lady.
That was Sparkle niece, they say.
Yeah.
But
how many people seen that?
But Sparkle brought her niece to him. She said it herself in the joint.
Brought him to him.
Come on, man. Let's make it all make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, like, the media keep telling people how to think and what to feel. And you have to get off of that. You have to detach from that.
Yeah. And people get their ass whooped. Women get beat every day behind closed doors. But in Puffy's case, this was a public dispute. This was a domestic public dispute because it's on camera and y'all put it out there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we know about it. We could have, if she had allegations that he say, she say that he beat my ass, but we ain't got no evidence, that's different. But we looking at it. And he done apologize for it.
Right. And then some people won't even apologize until the evidence presents itself.
Exactly. So he already gave it to you and told you. I was in the dark space. Once again, just because he Puffy don't mean it ain't mental health. Mental health.
Right. It's all fake anyway. It's just entertainment to help you cope. Yeah, that's the way the media push it for entertainment. But we have to learn to be able to cope with it with an awareness and understanding. Okay. And we can't be the person that always point the finger because, like I said, what Diddy was doing, we was all doing when we was in our teens.
Exactly. These people are human, man. And then it's so crazy because everything come to light, man. And it's like the
You
music
ready
is
to
not.
condemn a motherfucker, hanging nail him to the cross.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And the funny side of it is like you like, damn, we was rocking with that back in the day with Mace. I said the music is not aging well at all. I was cooking the other night and I said play Mace. I love Mace as an artist, still do. And I listened to Mace and he said, P. Diddy named me pretty. Do it for the money. Why can't you get with me? It's
Okay.
like I was like, Biggie talking about fucking little kids in the ass and throwing them over the bridge and all this kind of stuff. We was rocking with all that back then.
Was all rocking with it.
And now it sounds real funny, real suspect, and it's crazy, but that's how it works, though. That's how it works. When Cat talked, Cat opened up a whole gate.
He opened up the Pandora box.
When Cat talked, he opened up the gate. And when Monique and Cat was trying to tell Shannon, look here, Shannon, you need to leave it alone. And Monique told, you need to get you an auntie. Get you somebody you like sweet potato pie, rub some Bengay on your back, and make your ass a red velvet cake or something. Sit your ass down somewhere. Leave these young girls alone, these young white girls too. You out to be ashamed, Shannon, all them grandma stories. You know what I'm saying?
And then what happened?
Girl, twice or 3 times as young as your daughter.
Okay. Exactly.
Anyways, we can go on forever about all that stuff. I won't get too much off the subject. But it ties into all.
And we needed to say it. We don't say it as much times we need to say it, of course.
Yeah.
Because it needs to be felt.
Yeah. It ties into our community values, man. You know what I'm saying? And you got people here to help you and guide you, but you just want to. This is what I always say to my kids. I try to give you the game, but don't get mad at me if you keep tossing the controller.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? I try to give you the game, but you keep tossing the controller, dog.
Okay.
Like, Dad, I ain't got time for all your real. All your you lucky you got a daddy to try to tell you this shit. My son, me and him bumping heads for a while. It seemed like it'd be the daddy and the boys and the mom and the girls. It's like black women have this love-hate relationship with their daughters.
You right.
And my Epps showed you that. You nigga think she grown now because she got titties. I'll knock her head like all up through that wash and dry. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like my daughters and their mom, terrible relationship. My son and me is getting better. But it's because you need to listen. You got a daddy who has lived 25 years longer than you.
That's true.
So
that is so true.
That's why I tell that's why I tell people like this lady 80 years old. You ain't gonna listen to her. You know how much shit she done seen?
Okay, and she done went through and on experience.
It's individual sense. Only to listen to people who done been here before you. They try to keep you from going through the same. That's what our kids don't understand. We try to keep you from going through the same bullshit we went through.
Exactly, we trying to. And sometimes we gotta, as parents, we gotta let them see it on their own. That's just like back in the day when we had our villages, before it became communities. The villages, the tribe, the oldest person in the tribe, what they carry? They carry the wisdom.
The matriarch.
Yeah, they carry the wisdom. And with that, they don't seen a lot, they don't experience a lot, they don't did a lot. So people will go to that person in the tribe for any type of knowledge, okay, or guidance, because they got it.
They got it. And we tell these kids now, I tell my kids, just because I carry it well don't mean it ain't heavy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Don't carry it well, but guess what? It's a lot of pain behind that smile sometimes.
I'm telling you. And it's a lot of people that's out here older, they do carry wisdom, but they still use it against you. Okay, so you have to, we got to understand that too, if they older, because there's a lot of older people still doing the same old shit that we don't drop years ago.
I said, you've been on this earth this long and still ain't learned shit. Some old school fools out there, young girls be like, I say, why y'all young girls love me? But it's like, what I'm gonna do for you though? I ain't giving no babies. I ain't giving none of that shit.
Right.
But older men just treat you so much better. Says who?
Right.
There's some old school fools out here too.
That's True. It's some old school fools.
60 years old, still playing around on your wife. You got one foot in the grave.
Yep, it definitely depends on where the info comes from. Right.
60
Right.
years old.
And see, this is how you can cipher that. This is how you can cipher that. You don't want to get the person that's going to give you the information that's going to keep you in that fucking wheel.
Yeah.
Okay? You want to get the information for the motherfucker that's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Facts.
Okay? I'm not a yes man. I'm going to tell you what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Not what
you want to hear.
Know. Okay? Not what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
What's okay? CeeLo say? What's CeeLo say good about? When we lie to you, make it sound fly to you?
Okay?
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. People lie to people all day. Lie to their kids. Shit, a lot can travel halfway across the world for the truth put his shoes on, man. Y'all just soaking it up and believing this shit. Why don't you just go talk to her? Ask her. Ask Cash. You heard all this stuff about her. Just come ask me. Be a man. Call me. Don't go to social media and do subliminals. Call me.
Call me, because I'm going to tell you my story better than the society can or social media.
Yeah.
Okay?
Like,
definitely you got to go to the source. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to let the assumptions, we got to get away with that, because the assumptions going to get you killed. All right? It's going to get you jailed. It's going to keep you out. It's going to keep you on the wheel. You know what I'm saying? So we got to tap out of that as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm easy to find. You're right. I'm easy to find.
Stop tearing your kids down when they got dreams and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop tearing them down. Like, people be so quick to whoop their kids' ass when they do something bad, but don't give them no praise when they do something good.
Ooh.
You see how Taraji get her baby
praise in that
bathtub?
Yeah.
You see how Taraji get that baby praise in that bathtub for her little machine she made? And told her, baby, you gotta go to school because you're so smart. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You don't have no mothers or fathers to sit down and take time and tell their kids, like, I'm so proud of you. You know, you got all A's this week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, things always should be earned. A lot of these kids, they're supposed to get shit all the time these days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Without doing nothing for it, because that's what the parents are doing. And you got a little kid, 5 years old, I got to taste a steak. What? You can pick and choose. These kids, like, you can pick your clothes, your shoes, what you want to eat. Man, whatever my grandma made, if you didn't eat, you can eat your damn fingers for all I care. Or you ain't going to eat what I cook. What did the little light on top of the stove mean at the end of the night? The kitchen is closed. I don't care if you was in the hood, in the suburbs.
That's what I say. If I'm cleaned up, if you ain't got it now, you're going to stall the rest of the night now. You better come and get it. Once I clean, it's over with. The kitchen is definitely closed, baby.
I told my son when I was little, I had to make a wish sandwich. What was a wish sandwich, Dad? I wish I had some meat to put on this mug. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What we got? Look, you made a sandwich out of whatever you had in there.
Okay, whatever you had,
I got
baby.
a half a piece of spam right here. I'm gonna make something work out this sandwich. Like, we made all kind of sandwiches you ain't even never heard of before.
That's what I'm saying. We was tapping into shit that survival skill. Yeah, we made it work.
A starch sandwich. You remember when motherfuckers walked around your aunties ate starch out the box because it feels good. It rolled up in your damn stomach. They took that spoon eating that starch.
Oh my! I was one of them with my little Coca Pepsi. Yep, sure was. I sit around that motherfucker with a box of starch.
That starch make a biscuit in your mouth. I showed my daughter a picture of some shit. She was like, "What you showing me that for?" I said, "Don't you know what delicacy this is and how this shit was like the highlight of the month?" I said, "This right here, that box right there, that's the government cheese. This right here, Wonder Bread. We cut it up blocks. We put that cheese on some cheese toast. It was 6 of them in the oven. It was 6 of them in the oven. And it took a little while for that cheese to melt. You had to put it on 500 for it to get it going.
Right.
Once that government cheese melt, and you pulled it out, and you folded your bread in half, and you bit into it, and that cheese straight. Okay,
the best sandwich. The best.
Man,
one of the best okay?
We were
That's
survivors,
what I'm saying.
man.
Like we got to get out of that mentality. Shay saying they be excited to be asked. It do be a lot of parents that be excited to be their kids asked, which is really that's too draining to me. Like after a while, it become draining. You can become draining. It's got to be different,
Yeah.
ways of handling things. But some people be so excited because that's just what they're prone to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
And they don't have people in their space to give them a different outlook. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So, we have to I didn't have a lot in my family. I didn't have a lot of positive images in my family, but outside of my family, I did.
Yeah.
We had community centers that had positive, role models in those centers, in school. You know what I'm saying? I had positive teachers. So, I had people that was outside of my household that was positive. All right?
Phyllis Sweetly definitely raised me.
He definitely
Look,
raised me, okay?
Nickeltown Center raised some people, Broomtown Community Center. These community centers meant everything, man. And then they started cutting the budgets on them and stuff, man. Because we didn't have no workers, man. The harvest was plentiful. Like I say in the Bible, the harvest is plentiful, but there are no workers.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So you got people to step up like CC Ivory and got Phyllis Sweetly right until they got that $100,000 contract and they redid everything in that jank. Now we can keep it going for 100 more years. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. You spend too much time worrying about who in office as president. President can't do nothing anyway. They just a pawn. You know what I'm saying? Congress make those 12 white men make that rule. You know what I'm saying? You got to vote for people in your community. You got to work with people in your community that's these district community leaders and stuff like that. And sad to say, we got a couple of fools out here in the community that's our community leaders. I ain't gonna get into that, but I don't walk along. I don't walk alongside some of them and did stuff with them.
Right.
We do.
We do. And I think, I would love to, step up and be, in the community because I do have a lot to give, and I always want to work with you too. So, not just, I just want to be able to be a positive outlet,
Yeah. And that's it. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to ever be the smartest person in the room because I never learned that.
Right. The smartest person in the room don't know nothing.
Exactly. And I don't want to be the only guitar player in the band either because I want somebody I can lean on sometime too.
Right. That's true.
It's like strong people, we don't cry because we weak. We just get tired of being so strong all the damn time.
That's true. True.
But we ain't got a choice though. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
Sometimes you gotta be strong when you don't even want to, sis.
That's facts. That's facts.
When you got little people depending on you.
Right.
Or big people because we know these kids come back home. They're making it so hard out here now to where how you think the kids gonna survive when the parents is barely making it?
That's right. That's right.
You raising the cost of living, but you ain't paying people like that.
That's right. And that's where, management comes into play. I've learned that, even with, because it is high out here nowadays, everything goes through a stage of, evolving, and of course the cost of living has definitely evolved. That's when your mental has to be in a certain space. We still got to make it shake, right? We still got to do what we got to make the ends meet, you know what I'm saying? But we got to do it in grace, right?
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that we moving in a way that's not going to keep us hindered. So that's where I come into as well too, because management is definitely a key. It's not just managing your money, but managing your time. So you can definitely have that time with yourself to be able to keep going. You know what I'm saying? We can't be on this marathon without having a break.
I think that's what people get a supervisor and a manager misconstrued. Supervise shit. Managers, they manage. They have to manage. They make it seem like the supervisor is more higher than the manager, but not really necessarily. Because I can put a kid in front of me. I can supervise this little motherfucker. I'm watching him. I'm supervising him. You know what I'm saying? But am I managing him? His feelings, the way he moves, the things that he's doing. If he get up and start wrecking shit, I don't know. I was just watching him. Did you watch? Wait a minute. If you was watching him, when you supposed to stop him from doing shit?
Right. You manage their decisions. Management is all about guiding. You
was watching him, but you ain't talking to him. You ain't saying nothing to him. You ain't guiding him.
And that happens a lot in our community too. A lot of people see a lot of these people, or, you know, whether they are adults or kids doing the wrong shit. Don't nobody want to say that.
And all we witnessing right now as adults, as parents right now, is the hardship, same hardship that our parents was going through, our grandparents. Even though rent might have been $200, $300, $50 back then, that shit was high for them probably.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if my grandmother was getting $300 in SSI, my mom only getting $945 right now. What? 30, 40 years later, you only raised the SSI $600?
Right now, that
They be making $3-4 grand right now a month. They supposed to be getting veterans benefits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like $300 back then, and rent back then, the project probably was about $100, $125. I don't know how the hell my grandma did what she did.
A lot cheaper than that. It was a lot cheaper than that.
I don't know how she survived and did what she did for me as a kid. Cause I thought she was rich.
Hey, she made it work. You know, so you didn't have to. You didn't have to endure that struggle like that.
Yeah,
you know?
I was considered the rich kid in the hood. Everybody came to my house. I had every video game system. I had air conditioning in my room. I had me a 19-inch color television. So by the time I came of age, I started working like 13, 14 in the Greenville Tech program. JTPA don't exist no more, which I hate it don't. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to do for my grandmother. I had a little cable bill I was paying for. You know what I'm saying? A little Holly Myers bill for the air conditioner. Like, whatever I could do, because it was like she took good care of me. So it just made me want to, as a kid, to take care of her in return. These days, some of these kids will sit back and watch their parents struggle.
Just like me, you know, my mama had 4 kids. I started working at the age of 11 at Winn-Dixie. I was a bagger. Okay?
Winn-Dixie.
Okay? And the only reason I felt like I really wanted to get a job because I wanted to take some of that weight off my mama.
Yeah.
You know, let me help you out by helping myself out.
Yeah.
You know?
Not these days. They'll look at you and watch you struggle and be like, what now, mama?
Right.
What now, daddy?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, the Dollar Tree right here, or Food Line right there, go get you a little part-time song like that. I want to make more. I want 14. Nigga,
I know somewhere.
It's right there. You know what I'm saying? I used to tell my little cousins that. I was like, look, go just take whatever you can get. It's money you didn't have. But it's only $9, $9 you didn't have.
Right. Right. You gotta start somewhere.
Gotta start. But they don't want to start at the bottom though. They want to start at the top. That's why so many of them, when I worked my last job over
it's a lot of parents to blame to that too, because they don't want the kids to go through what they went through, which we all don't want to, but I feel like it's a curse.
It's a curse.
You know,
we do down, we don't.
Right.
We want them to have what we had and what we didn't have.
Right.
But in the same process, we coddle them.
We calling them. You right. Mm-hmm.
It's hard, man. Like, damn, I want my baby to have the best of the best of the best of the best. But then, like, they get spoiled on it. They don't want to do shit.
That's true. That's true.
You get mad at them and go off on them. Nigga, you the cause of it. You did this. You made me this way.
Yeah. You hindered that child that way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To where they feel like they don't want to do that. They don't have to do that.
That's why that's why I said when we was talking about them oodles and noodles, them ramen noodles earlier, of how they make it seem like it's a poverty-stricken thing to eat that. But at the same time, it's somebody in Hollywood right now that's looking at bottom steak or Honda Accord as being underprivileged. My daddy had the nerve to get me in a Honda Accord, a 2025 Honda Accord for my birthday. I wanted a Maybach. I wanted a Lamborghini Murcielago.
Right. Complaining.
He has the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's privilege.
Right. Very. I say that today. These kids today is too privileged. Too.
It's privilege, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them Hollywood kids, man, if they phone got cut off today, they're going to kill themselves tomorrow. And that's sad. That right. That's sad.
No, it's true. It's so sad, but it's so true.
That's why I love, sis, that I have experienced both dualities in life. I had a lot of money. I ain't had no money. So I know how to survive either way it goes. Some people don't know not having no money. and they
Right.
can't take
And that's another
that
thing we
pressure.
have to talk to our children too about our, the situations that we're going through. There's a lot of people that would try to put up a facade, or, they'll try to put up some type of image that, so these children won't think that they're struggling. Let your
Mm-hmm.
kids know the ins and the out to your experiences and to what they're getting, so they can understand how hard you're working to make sure they get
Mm-hmm.
what they need. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't give them that, you know what I'm saying? They just gonna automatically think that that's what they supposed. They just gonna automatically assume that this is just what they supposed to get. That you're supposed to do it regardless. They don't understand. All right, the
Yeah.
struggle.
Give it to them straight. Don't lie to them. And that's even like, I just have a lot of people get mad at me, man. I used to have those conversations about holidays and stuff, and especially Christmas and stuff like that. I
Right.
said, well, I believe in Santa Claus all the way till about 10, 11 years old. And my friends used to pick at me, and I used to tell them, man, it is a Santa Claus. What you talking about? Until I found out one day at my mama's house, I caught her putting my scooter in the living room, man, and I punched holes in her walls. At 11 years old, because I was so mad that it wasn't no Santa Claus. That's why you got to stop
Right.
lying to them. Like, I'm not
Right.
about to give, I'm not, first of all, a single mother busting her ass at the plant, working overtime, working all those extra hours, not getting no rest, just to give a fat white man in a red suit all the credit for that shit? Nah,
All the credit.
baby, I'm sorry, but look, mama did all that.
Now it's all right to give. It's all right to give the vision of that, but you still have to instill, the morals of. You still
Yeah,
got to be a good child. You still
you
got to
can.
do this.
Yeah,
You got to make sure your room is clean.
yeah,
You got to make sure you're being respectable. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I said, look, if you want me to give you something to believe in me.
Right.
Believe in daddy. Believe
Believe
in
in
mama.
me. Okay.
Yeah, know that we gonna always have your back.
I'm
And that's
telling
why my heart be breaking for my girls, because I don't even think they got a picture with their mom. You know what I'm saying? My ex-wife. And it's like, just like, how could you not support your kids and what they want to do? How could you try to sabotage everything they want to do? That is crazy
And that's
as
because
hell.
somebody did it to her, and she doing the same to her
It
children.
go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand that parents who are jealous of what they created. You jealous of your own kid?
Yeah, and that's because that's how their parent was jealous of him. That's what
Got
I
to
be
break the
telling people.
cycle.
Got to break the cycles, the generational curses, because these parents are doing only what somebody did to them, unless
Mm-hmm.
somebody corrected them.
Yep, that's correct. That's correct. Ain't no more correction. The braces is off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no resistance.
Okay. Ain't no resistance. Ain't no nothing. Not when people are awarding bad behavior, we got to get out of that. We definitely have to get out of that. It's a good time. Oh, it's still good timing. We good. I just trying to make sure I ain't too late.
So what do you give Straw? What is your rating? What is your Rotten Tomatoes rating?
I would actually give it a 10 because I understand, the situation. I understand the energy behind it. I understand the narrative. I understand the struggle of the mentality.
Yeah.
Had I been in someone that lived by the physical aspect of this world, I would probably be the same as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand, I understood that mother,
Yeah.
trying to make sure everything was right, trying to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And regardless of what everything else that was going on around her, she still was trying to hold it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I really want us, or just people in general, to see this from a different angle. Okay, get
Yeah.
out of the struggle mentality. I mean, not well, yeah, get out of struggle mentality, but also, detach from the struggle physically. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see things from a physical perspective, you're gonna always be stuck on the wheel. So I
Yeah.
definitely give it a 10 because, like I said, I don't really too much care for Tyler personally,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when it
We
comes to
right there
his
together.
movies, he's always spot on.
Yeah.
You know,
It's probably the
he's
best
always
one
spot
I've
on. So
seen
I
since that
give it a 10.
it's probably the best one I've seen since that Jasmine's Blues.
Yes.
You know, that was nobody was talking about that. I don't know why, but that was powerful to me, you know. For real, for
That
real.
was a good movie. That definitely was good too.
But yeah, I think I give it a 10 too. You know, and because I'm a director, I'm a very hard rater, like Rotten Tomatoes be. But it's the second best movie I've seen this year. The first best, all I wanted to do for my birthday is see it, and I needed some motivation, and it motivated me, and that was Sinners. And that went over people's heads so much. I done seen
Yeah,
it
a
about
lot of
three, four
people
times at the
took
theater.
Sinners the wrong way
I done
too.
seen it about 3, 4 times at the theater. Like I
Sinners
watched
is
it 10
definitely
times.
the #1 movie of this year.
Man, it's so many messages. I broke that down. I didn't get to do a breakdown live or whatnot like I wanted to because I had been busy. But man, just
I think
following Michael B.
you have
Jordan
to
all
do
these
these
years,
breakdowns, bro, because you do, especially being a director, so you
man.
understand the symbolism and stuff behind it, the storylines. You understand it, and that would be good. You know, I would love to join you too, or
Yeah,
just watch you
yeah.
doing it. Like, let me be in the comment, like, yes, bro, yes, yes, get it.
I
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was
because
just I was just so first of all, Ryan Coogler, I'm a big fan of course, Jordan, Michael B. Jordan. I'm watching him since damn Hardball.
yeah,
But they've
yeah,
been a dude. I people might not like it, but I will compare them to Spike Lee and Denzel. I will pair them not in the aspect of being great like Denzel and Spike Lee is, but giving me that hindsight and that visual what they could eventually be.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because look at the movies
yes.
that they've done together, and it's insane. Like he hasn't missed. And one scene in that movie, Sinners, that took me out, and it gave me chills. It brought tears to my eyes. Is that it showed us that the blues came from everything came from the blues.
Mm-hmm.
Every single rock and roll, ballet, all this stuff. When they did that shit on that dance floor, and it showed all those cultures and people and kept it
And
on
one
the dance floor.
time, ooh,
Now,
that was powerful.
I ain't gonna lie, cap, and be like, oh, I would have done it like that, because I wouldn't have. As a director, I would have took you to the lands and the places of the montage. I would have showed you the 80s and the 90s and all that. But on one dance floor,
Yes, on
man,
one.
the chills it gave me, man. Like it was
Yeah,
so
I was
many,
excited when I seen that part. I was like, "Oh, you see that?" Oh my God. I was so
man.
excited when I see that part because I was like, "Man, there's so many down different types of frequency of music in one
Mm-hmm.
scene."
Right there in one scene, and it was like, I think I was really surprised with the vampire stuff, because see, if you didn't see the original trailer before the movie came out, it didn't give you all that.
It did. It did.
Didn't give you all that.
I
It
feel
went to
it.
after that they showed that it was like a little bit of a horror, which I still don't think it was a horror at all. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
really
saying?
think
I
it was
wouldn't even
either.
classify the way I classify this movie is Idlewild meets From Dusk to Dawn meets Django.
Ooh, yes.
Them three
Ooh, yes.
mixtures. Them three mixtures, because it had a lot of educational culture in it. The vampire stuff just made it that much buttery. You know
And
what I'm saying?
they had the vampires even had messages.
Exactly. Because who was really the villain? Let's think about
Okay,
this. The living or the dead. Let's think
right.
about it. Because you see when Ann died, when he had to, Smoke had to kill her staker, the white girl was devastated. Because she wanted her with her. Because when they had that little talk outside, like, come with us, like, you live
Yeah,
forever. We trying to they was trying to create a community too.
that's
Because
true.
vampires, in the folklores, they've been outlawed and they've been hunted and their race have been killed and demeaned and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And see, we live in such a world of demeaning that we are people embrace being demeaned now. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact.
That shit is crazy. You embrace being demeaned. So who the real villains though? All they want is the same thing that y'all want. You know what I'm
Right, and
saying?
they want to unity. They
They
want
can't
to
come
unity.
in unless you welcome them in. And the
Right.
lady said, "Come on in, mother." You know what I mean? So
Okay.
y'all let them in. You know what I mean? So it was just so different. It was so different because it wasn't even really about the vampire being a horror. Then they was just a community of people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then it put the racism in there, and then it put, you know what I'm saying, the KKK at the end, and that my favorite scene, my daughter scene, when he got that gun and he just coming. You know what I'm saying? It was already a setup. They was gonna kill the brothers anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I just had no words, man. And like, so when they threw Buddy Guy in there and everything, I don't know if you caught this, but when Smoke and old girl showed up at the end, because it's two credit rolls. You got to stay through both of them to the end to ain't nothing left. Because the first credit roll, people start getting out. I tell people, no, don't leave yet. It's something else. And then when that went out, I said, don't leave yet again. It's another one after this. So people who didn't stay to the end, they didn't get the full effect of what it was trying to do. So basically, when Smoke and old girl came in there with their little 80s outfits and the glasses on, and Buddy Guy was in there at the bar, if you paid attention to it, while they was talking to him, is a mirror in front of them. Didn't nobody have a reflection, not even Buddy Guy. He didn't even have one because, see, when he was young, which they showed you all the way at the end, when he was playing the guitar in the church, he looked up. That's when he seen the devil in the church, and that's when he sold his soul. So he could. So what? That's why when they offered him immortality, he declined it because he had already been immortal. It's nothing they could do for him. He already gonna live forever. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people didn't catch that. Like a lot of people didn't catch that. Yeah. That was like, oh snap. And I didn't catch it because the first time I didn't stay through all the credits to that last one. That's why even after all that he went through with the guitar and he was holding on to it, and his daddy was like, let it go, not knowing that he already had sold his soul, so he couldn't let it go. It's not that he didn't want to, he couldn't drop it. It was broke and he can't drop it. Yeah. He done sold his it's so, and it was based off that dude from the 1800s that they said he was trash. John Robinson, something name was, he was trash. Yeah. Then he went off, and a year later he came back. He was the best guitar player in the land because he had sold his soul. Right. So they based that off of Buddy Guy, the Preacher Boy part. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I said the only thing I could ever ask for I gave Sinners like a 9 out of 10. And the reason why I didn't give it that 10 out of 10 is because the only thing that was missing for me is a backstory on everybody. And if Ron Coogler is smart as I think he is, he said there will be no sequel, but will it be a prequel? Because you can go a story on Delta Slim of how he came to be and his musician and his status in that town, and how the twins went out to the war and who they robbed up in Chicago to get the money to come down and to get the Jew joint, and how they was like always sleeping, like you said, my mama was just a warm bed and a meal. Like we never met her mom because her mom had died, or the baby that died. You know what I'm saying? Right. We went to see Ann. They backstory. It's so much backstory that you can do and make a whole nother movie. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I said.
Like taking it back to like rewinding it from the beginning. You know, with everybody's origin of their story and how it ended up. Everybody ended into one space.
Because even the white dude, the vampire, which he played the hell out that role. He did. He just jumped into the scene, running from the Indians. You never seen him again.
We just knew he was just running from the indigenous people.
Yeah, you never seen him again. Yeah, so it's so much, and I think he probably, if I think he's smart as he is, I think he did that for a reason. Right. But we'll find out, I guess. I think he did that for a reason, man. But every time I saw it, I saw something different, though, man. You know what I'm saying? And I
watched it about 4 or 5 times. It was that good.
Yeah. And when I was, the people who was bad mouthing it though, they was just trolls trying to get they likes up to get paid. Or I heard white people outside in the parking lot after me and my daughter saw it, and they was like, yeah, that was okay. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, it's not supposed to make sense to you.
Right.
You know what
it's all about where you went anyway, mentally, for it to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely see it. Because even when I did my breakdown, I definitely was like, hell, the vampires carried a lot of messages as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of people was probably not paying attention to the vampires because they so stuck on the horror part of it. But the vampires really was saying a lot of the shit that we're saying today. You know what I'm saying? And what I could say from a different perspective, there's a lot of people out here that want unity, but in reality, they really don't. You know, they just use it as a trend or as a phase, like they say on social media, to get likes and views. You know what I'm saying? But the vampire actually was wanting what we all want within
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
be immortal, to be in tune with oneness. You know what I'm saying? For all of us to come together.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, it was really good. That was really good. And not allowing them into the space could definitely be, you could be your own villain in your own story, because it's
Exactly.
of what you allowing and what you're not allowing in your space.
Yeah. And that just made me think of Taraji again, but going back to Baby Boy. And some people might get mad at me and whatever, but when I dissected Baby Boy after a couple of years, when I got older, because, you know, that came out when I was 23 years old. So
Right.
when I got older, I looked at it like, who was the real toxic motherfucker in this movie? It wasn't Jody. It was fucking Yvette. Think
Right,
about it.
his mom.
Yeah, and Yvette too. Because
Yeah,
Yvette,
and the baby mama.
yeah, and the baby
Right.
mama. So he had, so they was all mad at the girl who was trying to seduce him, and you know, and get him to sleep with her and all that kind of stuff. But she was treating him like a king. She was saying nothing but uplifting shit to him. He went to her crib. She had her own house. She had her
Right.
own money. She was like, baby, look, like, get with me. Like, you need to leave Yvette alone. She ain't nothing but trouble or whatever, like that type shit. But then you think about it, yeah, Yvette was kind of toxic without even understanding she was toxic. You done got Rodney coming home, talking to this nigga on the phone in jail. He coming to your house. He abusing your child and abusing you and shit like that. You know what I mean? And Jody, yeah, he's doing his thing as what a man do for the most part. But in the environment that y'all living in, it's like, I got to deal with all these issues with this nigga, get myself into some stuff. I got to defend your honor and all this kind of stuff. You put me in this situation. Yeah, I'm his young man, and yeah, you said that you want to stick with me, but I got to grow up. Okay, I'm doing it at kind of my own pace. You can't really rush people to grow up. You know what I'm saying?
And
But at the
how
same
can a
time,
man grow up if the women in the village is hindering that man to grow up?
yeah, because you got all this stuff going on, like at your Rodney for the most part. That's the biggest part. You know what I'm saying? It was just so much, and you wonder why the girl at your job looking at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you like, man,
Right.
you not treating that man like a king. Because if he felt like he was a king, he wouldn't have to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You keep bone rushing on about getting a job and everything. Why don't you assist him and help him and motivate him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you look at Jody, he was trying. He was trying.
He was boosting. He was doing whatever he can to make money.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you knew before you got involved with him, he was a mama's boy.
Okay.
That's why he was so territorial. You know what I'm saying? But his mama had some toxic shit going on too.
He definitely did too.
Yeah, you don't know, let another man come in with your. I understand he's your child, but he's your child, no matter how grown he is. He was there before he was. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
So everybody needs to feel comfortable and respect it and respect each other. Not saying that mama a woman first, so mama got needs too. But this nigga need to respect and not overstep his boundaries. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's true. That's true.
And
that happens a lot in these households today too.
Yeah,
you know, we've seen it growing up too. You know, a lot of women will take over will choose their man over their children, and it's sad, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder why your kids out here acting the way they do.
Yeah. I like to go back and look at certain movies because I look at them different.
Especially the ones when we grew up on, in the 90s and the late 80s. Yeah, they got a lot of meaning to it. Definitely.
And we go back and some stuff be like, damn, that shit don't even make sense now. And then you like, some stuff makes sense. But like, wait a minute, this shit was pointless. This was ridiculous. But we was eating this shit up at the time. You know what
I'm telling you, Baby Boy definitely is a deep story. And like I said, and a lot of women was triggered. I was one of those young women back then too. A lot of women was triggered about the whole, narrative of the baby boy. He ain't a man, you know what I'm saying? He don't know how to be a man. He want to be a cheater, but they're not taking the accountability, even being an awareness of why this man is the way he is.
Yeah.
Look what he's surrounded around.
Society programmed us to think that way.
That's true.
Every struggle movie we watch, from Men's Society to Boys in the Hood, to all the stuff, it's so much toxic shit. in there on the other party that we didn't think
And
about it
all
like
of these
that.
movies actually got some real fucking tea, some wisdom in it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people watching Minister Society when old boy, his daddy, you know, was letting them hold a gun and stuff and teaching them how to like possibly shoot. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh my God, you let that kid hold a gun? Man, that's messed
and
up. No, he
partying
teaching
around
him
the
early.
kids.
And
you know, we did that, you know, partying at your home and all the kids is out and whatever.
Yeah.
Round grown.
But it's cool. Yeah. But it's cool and okay when these white people teaching their kids how to shoot at 5 years old.
Right.
To prepare them for some martial law type shit.
Yeah, that's right. They don't get condemned in the neighborhood or in their households or, you know, about people, you know, when they're doing stuff like that. But it's definitely always us.
Yeah, because it's all about how you do things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he might let him hold a gun and have a sip of beer, but then like, but yeah, you know, these kill people. You got to be responsible. When you're older, I'll teach you more. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or get a little nigga a little sip of beer, knock his ass out, get him. We done all had that.
Just because even like the movie that was Minister Society, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The main character wanted to do right. He went to school, he graduated, he was about to go to college, but his grandparents was keeping him on just trying to keep him on a straight and narrow road, like to stay doing the right thing. His surroundings, being influenced by the hood and, you know, the gangsters in it, the gangs in the hood, and one wrong thing happens, and he becomes the menace to society, which is another statistic.
And guess who was the toxic motherfucker in that movie? Jada Pinkett. Okay. The boy was 18 years old. Yeah. The boy was 18 years old, man. You had to be.
It goes all the way back to the matriarch, and that's what and a lot of women don't like to hear that when I say that you're the root to all of this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to bring women down. I'm trying to enlighten you.
Yeah.
Because the decision starts with you. You in the household all day, every day. All right? You're the one nurturing your children into these characteristics. All right? Jada should have left his ass alone.
This woman boyfriend or ex-husband in jail. Now you want to get up a young kid, another man to raise your baby type shit. You want to pressure him, pull him out of his own city where he grew up, take him to Atlanta. But the narrative was, I just want you to do better. Or you want him to do better, you just want help. You looking for love or you looking for help?
Wanting help.
You looking for love or you looking for help?
Right. He loved the shit out of you. You really looking for help.
I'm telling you, you go back and look at some of these movies, like, wait a minute, man. That shit was cool and dandy back then, but now I'm seeing it for what it is.
That's why I always say, I wish a grown woman would approach my son, baby. You're going to have 2 black eyes. Because ain't nothing you can do for my son. All right? He's still a baby himself. He still got a life to live. Exactly. And Jada had a kid and everything, even though she was trying to do better, but still, this man is not completely fully a man yet. He's still a baby.
And that's why Pac turned on the road as the Muslim. Pac said, I don't even, what's this nigga backstory? Like, he's like a nobody, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got me. He said, I don't feel, he said, well, I won't play this part as this Muslim kid preaching all this, whatever, that I don't even, why would I want this role? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Pac really wanted the Kane role. That's why Kane talk so much shit about Pac. He's such a hater of Pac, man. Every time he tell the story about Pac on set with the Hughes brother and all this to John Singleton, and John Singleton will tell you what it is. That's why that's why they had to get rid of my boy, man. Right before All Eyes on Me came out.
I think it's very positive. And even though his movies, you know, people looked at him from a different perspective, you know, for where they was at mentally. But it was really powerful. Those movies are really powerful. They're supposed to have moved us beyond that stimulation. And we actually kept ourselves stuck in that shit. You know what I'm saying? And thinking that was the way to go. Oh, they producing this movie, so this must be what I got to be like. But in reality, somebody is showing you a mirror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they were hood movies with messages.
With messages.
Now we just got Tubi shoot 'em up bang bang movies with no messages.
That's true.
Tubi
That
shoot
is
them up
so true.
bang bang movie with no messages.
They do. A lot of Tubi movies do, and there's
And
no
there's
message in
some,
it.
and there's some that do have them, but most of those are the Tubi original movies where they got better production.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But man, it's just so. See, we need to. It's so many conversations that need to be had. That's why I be telling my daughters, if you want a podcast or whatever like that, make what's gonna make your podcast different. You know what I'm saying? It's a million gazillion podcasts in the world where everybody doing them, but what makes yours different? I don't know nobody that got a podcast like yours. I don't. That's what makes it different.
That's
Talk
true.
about you educate in your podcast. Like with me and bro, we was doing late night with the bros, and we just said why
Right.
we had so much going on right now with different ventures. I said we'll start back up soon, but we talked about real things. Like the last podcast we had, we talked about Medicaid and SSI, veterans benefits, and you know how the world can't survive off of a lot of that, and they're cutting the benefits. And so we just started talking about like what's the real thing behind Medicaid and SSI and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, it's just to keep you stagnated and stuff. But some people need it because they're elderly or disabled and stuff like that. Now, I don't really be caring about what Trump be talking about with cutting Medicaid, food stamps, SSI. But I do think for the people who are able and can work, they need to be cut because it keeps the people who need it.
Oh, yep.
Who can't get it because the budget ain't there.
Exactly.
So as a veteran, and I ain't ashamed to say it because I served this country and almost died, was in a coma for 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well leave it alone. I got it, okay?
So,
she ain't here coming out, y'all. Yeah. But yeah, that's true though. That is so true, you know, and that's why I say, you know, Trump, he have his ways of saying things, but a lot of the things some of the things do be making sense now.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to people who are able.
It makes sense, man. And like right now, they about to kill the share, they about to kill the share. The share has run out of funds. They are not helping but 2 times a year for people.
That's true.
For veterans like myself, they sent me a letter out in the mail. They paid my light bill all last year, but just because I'm a veteran. And they said, no, just let us do it. I said, okay, all right. I said, no problem. I appreciate it. But when I went up there like last week, the lady scheduled me for my normal appointment in 2 or 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And then she was like, no, we fired her last month because she was giving out false information. I said, well, I ain't really mad about the bill. I'm mad about wasting my trip coming up here, but I appreciate it. And she was like, D, one of the girls I know, she was like, man, she showed me the computer. They put out $250,000 already this year. 250, they helped 200, and they said we ain't got no more money really left in the budget. That's why we can only help twice a year, and we not gonna probably have a job in the next couple months. She was like, because they're gonna kill the program and all. I said, wait a minute, this shit been around probably since before I was born. And they about to
because a lot of people been misusing it, you know what I'm saying?
Misusing it. Once again, going back what Trump was saying. You know what I'm saying? And she told me, and she said, D, you a veteran. Drop your water bill off in the box every month. We'll pay it. I said, nah, I'm good. I'll do that. Cause it wasn't no use to me doing that. I said, that's just kind of, even I understand I'm a veteran, but you know, I ain't gotta be acting all greedy like that. If I don't really need for them to do it, like somebody else can use that.
Able. Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing people like, you know, especially in Walmart. You see all the elders working at Walmart.
Yeah. They can't get it because of these young motherfuckers. Section 8. You done brought your abusive boyfriend up in there. You bringing different niggas up there around your babies. Section 8.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You getting food stamps. You get $900 to $1,000 a month, if not more, and you selling your stamps.
That's crazy.
And now you scrambling to feed these babies because you done sold all the stamps. Well, she a little baby. She number one, so she don't really eat all that other stuff. You know. I get that, but
that shit don't make sense though.
Because you never know.
Out of 10, if you got children, they're giving you the stamps for your kids.
For the kids.
Because you, as a person, you only getting 150.
Yeah, and they're gonna cut it from 200 to 150.
For an adult, yeah.
And then
and some adults don't get that much.
And then you got a single mother with 2 kids. She don't really make that much on her job, nothing like that, and she don't qualify for it. But a nigga who sit on his ass at his friend's house to play PlayStation all week, don't do nothing, get $200 because he ain't
Yep.
working. Come on.
The system is fucked up.
Come on.
The system is fucked up, and I can see him trying to change the narrative in that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people was getting rich off that shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have to do shit, you know. And the ones who are complaining is the ones that are abusing the system.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
look at Taraji in that movie. I work 2 jobs. I try to do the best I can to get what my baby need. That I just say, well, you know, she's always hungry. What her stamps at?
Right. Where is her stamps?
Another nugget. That's another jewel, folks. What her stamps at? As you can see, they showed you in the beginning. That might have been an Easter egg right there. Eviction notice. Yeah. You see the noodles. Wait a minute, but she got a kid. She should better get some stamps. She surely don't make enough, like she said. She told you she don't make enough to make ends meet.
And she can't afford rent. She can't even get housing.
She said she worked 2 jobs. What was the second job? Because they never showed that, right?
Yeah, they never showed it.
You know what I'm saying? She said, I worked 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And because of her working those 2 jobs, you don't qualify.
Yeah.
How about I work this 1 job, pay my rent, my utilities, and y'all take care of my food? Give me $200 at least. I can feed me and my baby with the $200. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't even get that.
Can't even get that. Trust me, I got people around me the same way. They single parents and they can't even get it.
Food is expensive as hell.
Food is high.
And as a veteran,
like that, and to me, I'm like, that don't even make any sense. You don't have all the credentials to do all of that, and they won't give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's because, how people are misusing the system, and it's fucking up people who actually really need it.
And it's so crazy because as a veteran, they give me $300 a month, and that helps, and that's cool, and I appreciate it. But like whenever I go to the meat market, every time I go to the store meat market, I always once a week bless somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I go in there. It was late enough for Mother's Day and stuff. I was going to get some stuff, you know, because I don't really be eating meat and stuff like that all the time. I went in there and they was in front of me and they had like some steaks and some ground beef or some stuff like that. And the lady, she was like, oh, I don't think I brought enough for that. But even before she said that, I was always going to bless them. And I said, don't worry, I got it. I said, I try to do my good deeds for the week. And they said, oh my God. They hug on me and said, oh my God, you smell so good. They hug on me. And I said,
anything else you want? A long way.
Yeah, I said, anything else you want?
Goes a long way.
And her homegirl was with her. And I said, you want something too? She was like, I said, go ahead and go get it. She said, this is pork chop. I said, see, that's all you want? Get you some potatoes. You know what I'm saying? And I said, yeah, the government blessed me with this, so I bless y'all. And they were so thankful. The other lady, like she about to start crying. You just never know how you can make somebody day,
when people don't understand when I do my meet and greets. Yeah, I'll get my little shit, okay? Yeah. And I use that for my meet and greets. I give back every time.
Because
whatever I give it.
Like no matter what I'm going through mentally, I always try to be a blessing to somebody.
Right.
And that's what she was doing. That's what Taraji was doing.
Right.
That's what Taraji was doing, man. When Sinbad came on the news and he said what he said, man, he was like, man, she always makes sure I eat, and even when she ain't got it, like even when she was like, nah, I ain't got nothing today enough for you. She said, let me see, this is all I got. She gave him obviously her last.
Right.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, dang, she put the baby medicine outside. You could have took the medicine and kept it or something. You know, you knew she was struggling. You knew that her baby was sick. You knew that medicine was hers, but obviously you threw it out because you be like, what kid? You knew her baby was, that's why you threw it out, because you knew her baby had died.
Yes, right. Money has been became the most what I want to say, people worship money more than morals.
Mm-hmm.
And
likes.
Okay.
Instant gratification.
More than anything. You know, back in the day, you know, we had people that actually understood it. And they would, go do what you got to do. I got you. You all right. You know, we need those people back. Not saying that we need those people just to come back so you can just drain them, but we still need those type of people. We still need that energy, because there's a lot of people that actually do need just the support, just a little bit, even if it's just a hug, you know?
Just a hug, man. Me and my daughter, when I got her from college last month, we had to go to North Carolina so I could drop her off so she could see her other family. And we stopped at Sheetz gas station. And we was in there getting our food, and this lady walked in. She seemed like she was kind of filthy. She seemed like she was homeless, but she walked in, and I realized that we wasn't in Henderson yet, and I'm just talking with somebody my daughter knew. And she came, she's like, "Oh my God, hey you!" And my daughter was like, she came up to her and hugged her and just squeezed her. And she hugged her, and she was like, "Oh my God, she's so beautiful." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, we ain't in Henderson." And then she like, "Can I have a hug too?" And I hugged her and everything. She was like, and I just knew what was coming next. I said, she's going to ask me for something. And she didn't. She just
Sometimes
wanted a hug.
they just need the hug.
And that was, I said, baby.
And sometimes they just need the hug, and they remember you from when you was there when they didn't have nothing else or nobody else.
Yeah. I said, baby, she just wanted a hug from us.
And so many people come to my job, and I'll be like, don't worry about it. I got you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that just made me want to do something for her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was like, God, I said, man, see, sometimes people just need a hug, but they be going through it mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we keep
viewing
people just on a physical aspect and not understanding what a person is dealing with mentally. And, you know, it can be very disturbing to see physically, but mentally you can be a blessing to somebody.
Exactly. And when them people get to crying out on Facebook, don't take it lightly. You need to call them some kind of way. Cause you know how many times you done seen on Facebook, I can't take it no more. Y'all might not hear from me. This is it. You know, crazy messages like that.
And I definitely, I'll be one of the people on there. Look, if you need to talk or you don't need to do this, you know, call me. You know what I'm saying? Or I, you know, text, inbox some very positive words. You know what I'm saying? Because some people do it for attention, but hey, we all do shit for attention. You know what I'm saying?
That's the world we live in. Hey, like, look, I need attention. Ain't nobody listen. I need your attention.
Right.
Did you see that live video of the day of that girl named Star? Her baby dad. I don't know if this was here in Greenville or down by Hartwell or what, but my homegirl Raven inboxed it to me. I'm gonna inbox it to you. Get ready to cry all over again. She sent it to me and she was like, "This broke me, D." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna watch it." I watch it. It broke me because the girl had been.
You have to send that to me because I don't know if I've seen it or not. I be seeing white.
But I'm thinking it was here in the city, but her boyfriend had domestic, always beating her and shit like that. I think her son had died recently, and he was beating her and stuff. And I guess they was in the car. He kicked her out the car on the interstate, took her purse and everything. She only had her phone, so she went live. And so once she got down by the bridge, she was just screaming about how she couldn't take it no more, and to he beating on her and all this kind of stuff. She just wanted to end it, so she started climbing over the rail. She was about to get ready to jump. Out of the blue, some homeless guy named Thomas Iskew, and everybody was trying to find him on live or Facebook or see he had a cash app. They just wanted to bless him. That man had a little dog in his hand that he was supposed to take somewhere, and it was starting to get dark. And he went over there for like an hour or 45 minutes, about 45 minutes, I want to say. He went over there and he talked her down off that bridge before the cops pulled up. And the things he was saying to her, he was making her feel like somebody cared. He telling her, he was like, "I ain't nothing. I'm homeless and nobody cares about me, but I care about you." And this is the shit he was saying to her. He talked to her. It's like he was her guardian angel. This nigga can't, like, if you can see her phone, it shows all the way down the road. You don't even see nobody. So I'm like, where this man just come from out the blue? Right. He just appeared with the dog, and he started talking her down off that. He talked to her about a good 35, 45 minutes until the cops showed up and got her off that dang on bridge. I said, man, somebody bless this man right here. And it broke me so bad. And I said, what she was saying and how she was talking about everything she was going through and what she go through with that man, and she's sick of, she can't take no more. It broke me, man. I said, well, any female that's been through that's gonna watch this live, it's gonna hurt, friend. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I send it to you, it's gonna hurt, boy.
Yeah, I got to
Because
see that. I
if
don't
I
think I
feel that way as a
feel.
man,
Yeah, just imagine how I'm gonna feel because when I see it, I can't stand to see people. Oh, I don't like to see people toe up. I can't
yeah,
help but to come to them, to their aid. And at least speak some, some encouraging words, some wisdom, some love, speak love over them. You know, I, I'm one of those people, and I attract people like that too. So I know I'm a tear up. That shit gonna probably break me too. But I want to see it because not only do we want to find a situation for the man, I definitely want to tap with the woman. I'm all for women, and I would definitely love to even talk to her.
yeah.
Because 9 out of 10, she just needs somebody to talk to. You know,
I really wanna open up my office space, and I wanna do whether it be men or women. I wanna do what they did on the Shy, that man's mental health circle
oh
they be having. That inspired
yes, that's very
me.
positive.
Yeah. Even if like women want to get together in sisterhood, man, and just sit in there and talk to each other and lift each other up. Like I got 6 offices and stuff. We got the recording studio, the editing suite, the candle making center, the esthetician lab, the photography studio, and then my last room right now I'm trying to get right is the production room, podcast center room, so people can rent it out. They can do their podcast, their stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But trying to bring something different to the city. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, if you do it, hey, I would love to join. I would love to
Yeah.
help.
Bring something to the city, man. Then people don't have to go all the way to Atlanta to do all this stuff. We always got to travel outside our city.
Yeah, we
Greenville
definitely.
building up big enough right now for us to do different type of things, man. We just got to get together. It's so stupid that our downtown looking like this, but nothing else. They working together to make downtown the greatest thing in the world in Greenville. Why we can't,
Right?
as black businesses, gather together and do some great things? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
let's start changing the narrative. Like, when your homegirl or somebody they know starting a business and they get their keys to they new building or whatever, let's have
right.
a business part of, you have a baby shower, have a business shower.
Right.
You bring
So
them
we can
little gifts
support
and
each
stuff for they,
other, get each
yeah.
other out there. Yeah, that's a nice idea. That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
celebrate them opening up their business. You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't got a place of business as far as a building, just for getting your LLC and your stuff together.
Right.
Have a little
Right.
business shower for them, a little get together, little gathering. Something, man. Lift each other up, man.
We definitely gotta lift each other up. Definitely do. We talked. I think we covered a lot. We
We
can really
did.
talk more and more.
It was fun too.
We definitely did. And I really appreciate you coming up. And I'm gonna add you on my YouTube anyway.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
upload my videos up there too. And I'm gonna upload the whole video because you never know who's watching, you never know who's listening,
yeah,
and you never know who might need to hear this.
yeah. To hear it.
You know what I mean?
I
So
enjoyed
if
it,
you
man.
do that, hit my line. I'm willing to help.
Okay.
Anybody out here that wants to do something, I'm willing to help. I'm a living testimony. I'm a walking testimony. I definitely have a lot to give. D got a lot to give. We got people out here. We just got to come together and make it happen. And I'm willing to, do that, especially if it's somebody that want to make it happen with me, like me. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you need a village to make it happen. So um,
Let me know
if
when
it's
you're ready. Let me know when you're ready to act.
huh,
Let me know when you're ready to act.
act like in the field.
When you're ready to act.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
All,
I got something
all I
for
need
you.
is, hey, I just need to push. I'm ready. Okay, I've been acting all my life.
I'm telling you, man. I love giving people opportunities because one was given to me, man. And when I do these films, man, I know so many people, but I love challenging my friends and my
Yeah,
family.
I love
And
a good
yeah,
challenge. I definitely love a good challenge. I know Ricky be doing it, and I
yeah,
be, sitting on my own self like, I don't know if
yeah.
I can do it, but I know I can,
And
and I
you can,
definitely would
and you
love
can.
to.
So I'm releasing Fix in August. My new film is about addiction, and it's Jamaica Mike. Her story. She did a great job as a first-time actor.
Okay.
I took her to that dark place, and she did it. Like she really blew it away, man. I'm ready to do finally release it. I'm about to shoot the intro over. I'm gonna go around the city and capture all that shit, Spike Lee Candid style, of all the
Yeah.
landmarks and stuff like that, the people, and then I'm ready to go ahead and get it ready for release, man. But My next one, Happy Father's Day, man, is so powerful because it's based off the injustices of the system and child support, what black men, just men in general, go through, and how the penal system it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's based off my life, though. You know
Right,
what I mean? And what I've been going through and still going through. And that's kind of my lane, documentary, true story. I got like Tubi stuff, but you know, we got stuff on Tubi right now. You know, go check out My Husband's Mistress. You know,
it's all on my list.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff, but my lane is informative, true story, documentary type stuff. That's what I love to do. I'm a nerd when it comes to stuff like that, so I love stuff like that, man. But I just like to challenge my friends because, trust me, when you see yourself on that big screen, it changes you. It changes you. It's addictive, and you never seen yourself in that light. You know how sometimes, like, you never know what you got until you would take the right people to pull that out of you?
Right.
And once you see what you can do, I say, look, every gift you got, every gift he gave you, use it.
That's true. That's true.
If you have to go get judged and you go through them gates one day and he be like, Shay, what you do with all them gifts I gave you? He be like, God, I use all of them. I use every last one of them you gave me. Yeah. All of them.
All of them. Also, just keep me informed because I'll definitely tap in. Okay. And I'm dead serious.
I got you.
I'm playing. I'm dead serious. I would definitely love to do that.
Yeah, because you got that aura, man. You got that aura. You got that presence. Always have. Ever since the rapping days and all that kind of stuff. People don't be knowing. Look, people don't be knowing, like, you hear these little chicks rap these days and you be like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, the little kids rap these days, they talking about nothing. They ain't talking about nothing.
Say that one more time.
We have little chicks rap these days, they ain't talking about nothing.
Oh, yeah, they on a whole different lane.
We cut from a whole different ball.
We got to get back to the other side of things. I'm definitely willing to do that. And I'm honored that you even asked me. So I'm definitely make sure I'm gonna be right in there on time, front and center. And
it's an experience.
To where I need to be pushed to, and I appreciate that. I'm definitely keep me posted.
I got you, man.
Show up and let me know the date so I can make sure I'm off and I take that day off completely.
Oh, I got you. I tell people all the time, look, now when we're filming now, make sure you clear your whole day, your whole schedule, because filming, it can go crazy, it can go left. It doesn't always go according to the schedule and the shot list. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I just came back from Atlanta. Was it today or? My days is mixed up. Yesterday, I think. Yeah, we had to go down there and film for a day, finish up a couple parts for My Husband's Mistress Part 2. The premiere is July 27th in Atlanta. So then we got to be back at the end of the month to shoot a new movie.
That's a Friday, right?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then we got to be right back in Atlanta at the end of this month, shooting a new film for a new lady, her stuff, and then July 10th we be back to shoot Bottom Bitch for Raquel.
You're gonna be down there because I do also have a homegirl that actually acts too.
Oh, yeah?
And she's from Atlanta, and I've been trying to get her to she do little parts. She do the movies, but I definitely like, girl, stay out there. You can get it. I'm gonna have to hook her up with you too. She actually stays down there. And I'll be down there actually the end of this month.
Okay. Yeah, Tubi has created some amazing lanes for black actors, I would say, even though it's kind of oversaturated to me as well. Everybody and mama became an actor and a director after the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But it worked out, obviously, because
it's working out.
Fox bought it. Fox bought Tubi, and it got a better logo and better movies. And it's probably going to be the biggest streaming in the world by the end of the year. I would not be surprised. Remember, I said it first here. You will hear it. It's coming. The first annual Tubi Awards. It's coming. Remember, I said it tonight on this podcast, y'all.
I'm going to remember it too. I'm going to remember. Like,
Fox got their hand in it. It's coming. And I just want to be front and center there with my movie and hopefully get nominated or something, So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tubi is definitely moving. It's elevating. It's evolving to doing great things. I'll be like, damn, they got this on Tubi now. Okay, Tubi. Y'all doing y'all thing. So yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I'm gonna remember you said it too.
Mm-hmm. This, I'm gonna tell you, it's just a blessing to still be able to be here to witness what we are witnessing. Whether it's bad or good, we're here. I don't know how old you are, but I just turned 45 and I've lived through 4.5 decades of shit and seen stuff come to fruition and die and go into one device, a phone. You know what I'm saying?
I'm 43, but I'm definitely right there with you. Right.
Well, we looking so good for the age.
Right. Okay. Hey, it comes with, you know, great.
And these young folks look bad, man. These young folks look bad out here, man.
Yeah, they actually look like what they're going through.
23 years old. I'm like, I had did a maternity shoot for this girl, and he was talking about something. That's his 6th baby mama, and he said, I said, how old you is? He said, I'm 23, looking 43.
Ooh, yeah.
It's kind of like this.
Bad.
What kind of drugs you doing? Like Michael said, weed, pills, everything.
Hey, stressing like a motherfucker. That's what stress do to you.
Yeah.
Still out here making decisions. And you drain, baby. That's why you looking like this.
Mm-hmm. And the girls, it's like a lot of the overbearing makeup and wigs are making them look older than what they are. Like I tell my girls, I said, don't you know when I was little, when I was a kid, about 10 years old, my grandma had been about 40. I said, old people used to wear that shit. My grandma take me to K-Wigs, scare the hell out of me downtown. Every time she take me in there, just looking at women putting on wigs, and some of them had alopecia. I know that wasn't 10 years old. They got balls.
Right.
They wore wigs for that reason. They didn't have no
they did.
The cornrow underneath nothing. They just needed a wig because they needed a wig.
Yep.
And they wore Lee press-on nails and eyelashes because that's just what old people did back then.
That's what they did.
Young girls wore ponytails, the bangs that flap over the head with the track, and the poetic justice braids. They said, I want some poetic justice braids. Your family had to be well-to-do to get them Africans to do that back then.
Definitely.
So that's the only place you can get it done with the Africans. If you had dookie braids, or they said, I'm getting poetic justice braids. That's what they call them. I was in middle school, like witnessing this, because all the girls wore ponytails and bangs, and tracks, and
we had our fans,
and baggy jeans and Tommy Hilfiger collar shirts. Oh, I love that. I love that TLC shit. I love
nationality, baby. Man, it's that.
Leaving something to the imagination. I miss them days.
Yeah.
Then they come out naked.
Yeah, no imagination left at all.
That ain't special to me.
At all.
Everybody seeing my butter.
I'm telling you.
That's great.
I'm telling
you. How we done seen all this, man.
I was looking at some of my old pictures. I was like, damn, I had on the baggy shorts, the long white tees, you know what I'm saying? The nice little thing.
Some Reeboks with the
everything was natural.
The Reeboks with the little puff ball in the back of the socks.
Okay, everything.
You know, fresh to death.
You know they don't know about that. They don't know about that.
They don't, man. I tell my kids, man, I'm glad my kids got old souls, though. They listen to all old stuff and all type of stuff. And I was like, you don't see no little girls jump roping no more, no double dutch, no little kid riding no bikes, playing the sand, nothing. I said, if you want to show your kid how we grew up, let them watch the first 8 minutes of the introduction to Crooklyn.
Crooklyn?
Crooklyn the movie?
Yeah.
When that movie first came on, they were playing jacks, marbles.
Oh, I bought some jacks.
Oh, you was nice? You ain't nice no more with them jacks, though.
I'm still nice with them jacks.
But you was that chick that if you went first, that was it. Wasn't nobody else going.
I'm getting all of them.
And look, one of them
it's gonna be my turn.
They say, look, say one was all the way over here, and the other one was all the way up here. They say ain't no way she gonna scoop that. They say ain't no way she gonna scoop that.
Okay, that's
ain't no way she gonna scoop that. Bounce that ball up.
Yeah.
They was like, you cheated. She cheated.
I went and bought some jacks a couple months ago. I said, oh, hell yeah, let me go on and play jacks. My kids don't know shit about it. I thought stuff that my kids that I grew up doing.
I said these kids will never understand the joy of Saturday morning cartoons.
That either. They won't.
Get that bowl of cereal ready. TV on top of the flow model, ready.
They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it.
Ice cream truck.
And that's why a lot of people didn't want to see, or probably, related to that struggle on a certain level, because that was something that they actually was embarrassed by, probably. You know what I'm saying?
And how can you be embarrassed from something that you came from?
Right.
If anything, be thankful and grateful. But it's like, how we talk, we get excited about talking about that.
Yes.
Because that was not all that bad for us. That was just life.
That was life, and that was the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I tell people all the time, even though I grew up in the projects in Fieldcrest, I had a wonderful childhood. I ain't gonna hold you.
You didn't even tell us we was struggling, because we didn't see that.
Just didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might have been. I remember going to a friend's house in the suburbs, because we used to go trick or treat in the white neighborhood. We called it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I go over to a friend's house, and shit, and I'm like, they got a above ground pool, they got trampoline in the back, they go to bed in full pajama sets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we over there, and I'm just trying to grasp the concept. And then it said, "Oh, your mama tucked us in. Good night." And then I try to go to sleep. They turn the light off and put a night light. A night light? What's that? A night light?
Right. What's a night light? We didn't have that.
And then mama come in the room she was like, "Little D, you okay?" I said, "It's too quiet." Right. She was like, "What do you mean so quiet? Nigga, we used the gunshots and helicopters and people arguing. It's you crazy." Like, look, music to our ears.
Okay. I'm telling
this shit too quiet.
That's how we went to sleep.
They said Lil D ain't been back over here ever since. That shit was foreign to me.
It was
we
foreign.
Had breakfast. We had pancakes with blueberries. Wait a minute. It's something, and that's sad, really.
Right.
And that's kind of sad, really. It's like you enjoying it at the same time, but it's so foreign, and it's like make believe that you go like this shit exists.
Right. Like
you said, you can't become a product of your own environment. When you become a product of your own environment, that's all you know.
That's all you know. That's all you know.
Outside that box.
That's true.
That shit, Augusta Hills was nice to me.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? Augusta Hills went through its little bad stint in the 90s a little bit. But overall, like, if you go into the apartments, they probably was better then than they are now.
They were. They was. To me, them was like an upscale from Fieldcrest.
Yeah, Fieldcrest. I got to listen to that damn heater downstairs all night.
Okay, I only got one heater, no air.
No, what? You know what I'm saying? If you stayed in Roosevelt, you ain't got no damn back door. They still ain't got no damn back door.
Okay.
You gonna die here if you catch on fire. You got no exit.
Hey, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
And the only reason why they really did them, because it was mold and shit everywhere.
That's true. Yeah.
I said, you might want to wonder why, because you ain't got no damn back door.
Yeah, there ain't no insulation in it.
Ain't none of that.
Let that door open. Some windows that actually open.
So those things. So
I was very grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through some times in my childhood, but overall, I was grateful, for my upbringing. And I definitely also was grateful. As an adult, I'm grateful for the struggle. I'm grateful for the trauma I actually did go through, because it actually made me the person I am today, because I'm not stuck in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm above all of that energy, and I see it for what it is. And it made me a greater person. Some people don't have that, that outlet. Exactly. So they still, they still in that. Yeah.
And we still ain't not the woods when it comes to struggling, because we just know how to manage it better. Yeah. That's all that is.
We know how to manage it. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. Like, I don't think you ever leave the struggle, no matter how much money you got.
It really doesn't matter. That's why I say when it comes to your mind, it's gonna always be there. You just got to learn how to manage it. Even like when you're going through healing, you got to learn how to manage your triggers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because even when you got all that money, it's this right here.
Okay.
Everybody take care of everybody. I like shit. It was better when I had no money. Nobody asked me for shit.
That's true. That's
I
true.
just had to worry
That's
about me.
right. Just
And that's
got
the
to
same thing. And
worry
that's
about
what. And that's the
yourself.
same thing as taking on a management position at a job.
That's
You gotta worry
right.
about you and everybody else in here, and they gonna
That's
get rid
that.
of you before they get rid of the employee. If
Okay.
something go wrong.
Yep. If something go
I
wrong,
ain't
they
never
gonna blame the
understood that.
management automatically. So you got to make sure that everything is being managed right. Yes. So yeah, you definitely got to. That's why I said people learn how to manage their energy, their skills, their time, and always put yourself, first. You know what I'm saying? Everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. You just got to manage it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Because
learning to
believe
pour
it or
into
not,
myself.
it's not gonna. It's not gonna. That stimulation is gonna be here, and it's just basically a concept. All right. For you to evolve from.
Yeah.
And if you're not evolving from that concept or that construct, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna get up off of here. My kids keep coming in. Like, Mama, when you gotta give them some time. I gotta manage my time. You feel me?
It's all about balance.
Got to have the balance here.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? My baby girl keep coming. So,
I seen her.
You see her?
Mm-hmm. You ain't got to mute for me.
Okay. I did mute. I'm like,
look, man, look. Oh, that's why I tell my
girl,
friends.
hold on. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
I tell my friends that's in their 40s and 50s and 60s. I say, "Oh, you had another baby? You waited there? Okay, more power to you. Do your thing."
Okay.
I'll pull my hair out right now if I had another.
I can't do it. I got too much I got to manage already over here. I can't add nothing else.
Y'all said, look, don't cheat yourself and don't cheat that baby because what you gonna do with them in 10 years? You
Right.
50.
Facts. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But yeah, keep me posted on the acting.
Gotcha.
The movie. I'm definitely honored to do that. I will do it. Y'all gonna see me doing my little thing, 1 and 2. Also keep me informed about the thing we want to do in the community, men and women.
Yeah.
Let's have these tough conversations. I'm here for it. Because I do got a lot of people too that I would love to, bring to actually be able to join to have the conversation with them as well. Giving people an outlook or, an outlet.
A platform.
You know what I'm saying? To speak, and to get it out, release. So yeah. Let me know about that. And let me know what day you're gonna be down in Georgia, because like I said, I'll be down at the end of the month. I'm going down to actually see my homegirl that actually does acting too. So, you know what I'm
I think
saying?
we're gonna be
We can,
there 5 days shooting. Probably gonna be there from the 26th to the 30th, I want to say. Yeah. 26th to
the
the
end
30th.
of this month?
Yeah, because I'll be in Myrtle Beach the weekend of the 14th because it's my girl's birthday and it's Father's Day. So I guess they want to take me to the beach or whatever. So that's cool.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
so yeah, this month is moving, man. And I've just been dealing with this car wreck stuff and these lawyers and doctors and physical therapists and all this kind of stuff. So they finna run it up on her. I'm sorry, travelers insurance, but they finna run it up on you. So that was my blessing right there. Even though I'm not really worried about the money gonna be there. I want my body back. I struggled.
Okay.
I struggled in Atlanta yesterday with this whiplash.
I
Struggled.
feel you. But you
Struggled.
kept pushing though. You kept pushing
Yeah.
though.
I'm here. For real. That's all that matters. We all got a story, sis, but the most important thing is that we here to tell it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here to tell it. That's facts. That's facts. And we're here for a reason, because we got a lot to give. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm always here. My door is always open for anybody also that want to talk. Y'all know that.
We got to do this again. On these discussions.
I will. I definitely will. Just pop out. I'm like, let's have this hard talk, y'all.
Yeah.
It's gonna always be something that's gonna be trending that we can always break down and with some logic, you know, because a lot of people don't, you know, get to, I'm not going to say it's everybody, but some people just don't, you know
Yeah.
what they go with, you know, what they see and, you know, the things that they are viewing in life, basically. So they might need an outlet. They might need some guidance. They might need to understand, damn, okay, I see a different perspective about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Instead of the perspective that the media is giving us, you know,
Yeah.
society is. So yeah, I'm definitely willing to do this again. I would definitely be but yeah, I'll get with you behind the scenes.
Cool. And it's another movie on Netflix you need to check out. It's called Unseen. I don't know if
You know what? I've been wanting to see that.
you.
And I put it on my watch list, but I have not watched it yet. It's a series, ain't it?
It's different. It's like, once again, about the black woman, but it narrates that a black woman, her husband was involved. Her husband was involved with some things. I'm not gonna spoil it. Her husband was involved with some things. He owed people money, and he went to jail. She went to pick him up from jail, but he wasn't there. They said he had already got out, and they was teasing her like, oh, when she tried to go to the police station and say he was missing, it was like, oh yeah, he probably went out in his mistress' house, and they was trying to pick at her like, and she was just trying to find her husband, and she was struggling like Taraji without him, like about to be evicted, all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then she kind of started like looking for him. She started doing stuff that she didn't mean to do, and they was like trying to use her after that, like, you the perfect person. They're trying to blackmail her in a certain way because nobody paid attention to her or listened to her, and so that's why they call it unseen. They say most black women in their marriages and stuff are unseen, and they can tend to do things they don't know that they don't even know that she's living another life you didn't even know because no one's listening to her. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? That's the best
right.
way I
They're
can
moving out
explain it
there.
without kind of spoiling it for you. I don't want to
Okay, I'm
say
gonna have to
really
watch
what
it
it
because I
is.
do
Just
got it
watch
on my
it.
list. And I said I need to watch this. It's one of
Yeah.
the it's a series. And I said it keep popping up, and I put it on my list eventually. I mean, yes, the other day.
Yeah.
So I said I'm gonna have to tap into this because it
Yeah, I'm
kept
gonna
coming
go
up.
ahead and finish my night out with Forever because I've been supposed to watch that and I ain't watched Forever yet. So
Forever
daughter
is
said it was good.
actually good. I mean,
Yeah.
it taps into, you know, that whole preteen, well not
Love,
preteen, but
that
what
puppy
they call
love.
it, adolescence.
Yeah.
You know, of you growing up and stuff like that, your first relationships, those emotions that you go through.
Yeah.
Very powerful. I can't wait to part two. Because it definitely took me back to a lot of things growing up and realizing, damn, I did that too. We all went through that. I love movies that I can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna show the next season really shows the growth. So I can't wait to see the next season. But yeah, make sure you watch that one too. You're gonna be like, this shit was it's
Yeah.
one of those. It's really good.
So I got
Really good.
a series I started writing a couple months ago, and I think we need this. It's kind of like I'm not trying to create like another the Wood or something like that, but it's called Ramsey Court.
Okay.
It's called Ramsey Court. That's pretty much Fieldcrest. It's Ramsey Court, and the
That
story
is a name. That's
yeah.
right.
So the story is about like 6 families. I got 6 families that I'm pretty much narrating, like the Sullivans, the Knuckles. So it's like 6 families that I thought were pivotal in my life growing up and what I saw go through.
Right.
And so the casting is going to be so tedious because I got to get the kids at a certain age, and then I got to get them at preteen, I got to get them at teenager, and then the adult. I don't know if we're going to play the roles of the adults, or I'm going to get somebody to play us as the adults. But it's going to be one of my biggest projects, I think, next year.
Oh shit.
Ramsey
Okay.
Court. Mm-hmm.
Now that's gonna be good.
You said
That's gonna be good.
you grew up in Fieldcrest too, right?
I definitely did.
They go something for you right there.
I
Ramsey
definitely
Court.
did. And I seen a lot growing up in Fieldcrest. A lot.
Exactly.
No
So I
Ramsey
said,
Court,
yeah,
the original name. But
yeah, the real village. Jesse
I seen a lot.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely seen a lot. Hey, don't forget the whole part with Jesse Jackson. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 50D Ramsey Coat.
So yeah, if you definitely want to dive with me with that, I definitely would. Cause hey, I definitely did grow up in Fieldcrest. I did.
you had to been out there in like 2006.
Who, me?
Yeah, when was you out there?
I was out there in the 80s.
Was you?
In the 90s. Yes.
You must have been a little good girl somewhere else. It couldn't come out the porch or something.
Oh, yeah.
You had
my parents, my
been,
mom and my grandparents, they did keep us in the house. But the older I got in my teenage years, getting into my preteens, I was starting to be more into the neighborhood. So I still had a lot of friends in Fieldcrest that I actually grew up with. I grew up with damn near everybody in Fieldcrest.
That's crazy. Because I didn't see you somewhere in the top court or some of the old people wrote something. It was so
no, I was on the main drag. The main drag, the main street.
Coming up the hill from niggas town?
When you go through Fieldcrest, that middle part.
Oh, that main drag?
Yeah.
Oh man, I should have did because we
stayed right there. We actually stayed in 3 different apartments in Fieldcrest. We stayed on that main drag first, right there in the middle, and then we stayed across the street in that court. I can't, but it's right. When you come through Fieldcrest, you're right there in the middle where everybody used to hang out at. We stayed across the court, and I stayed at the top court. So yeah,
Oh, you was
family stayed out there.
I mean, you went in the 30, but you was in some spots that I should have seen you at. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm
pretty sure we seen each other. We just, I was just one of them little kids that I was running through the trails. Like when I mean trails, I mean we was in the woods, we was hanging in the creek,
everything.
We was out there
swinging on
we was
Tarzan vines, going down Frankenstein Hill.
On top of the.
You know about Frankenstein Hill? Look, man.
I'm telling you.
All that.
Remember the dude that what's his name that used to ride the bike? I mean, I remember all of them. Even the one that used to have the radio. Yeah.
And Little Ricky on the track. Little Ricky was one of my clients at the Disabilities Board when I moved back here.
Yeah.
We used to be scared of Little Ricky like he was Bloody Mary or something.
And we was too as a kid because of what the fuck our parents used to tell us.
Oh, you OG. Triple O. You right there with me. You OG.
He loves the kids.
You OG. Triple OG because I was out there since I was 2 weeks old, so I graduated. 1980.
Oh. Yeah, we went to Phyllis Weasley. I went to Big all that. Yeah, we stayed out there in Fieldcrest. Yeah.
Did you ever see my TED Talk? I'm the first black. You watch my TED Talk on YouTube. I'm the first black man to ever do a TED Talk in South Carolina, in the Greenville.
Talking about was you in?
I did a TED Talk at the Peace Center in 2011 about Fieldcrest and a whole bunch of Marynell, all that kind of stuff. I'm about to sing to you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know what TED Talks was.
But I didn't know you. You know, I remember that. I definitely do remember that. Yeah. I definitely do because I think they presented it also in Phyllis Wheatley too.
Yeah. See, I didn't know what TED Talks was, and it was like, oh, Bill Gates did it, Steve Jobs did it, you did it. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna send you the video to that too. Yeah,
right. Yeah, because I was out there. You probably like you must have been a good girl. I was. My mama, we had to stay right there in the front yard.
Yeah, you weren't hanging with the GGs and none of that.
Not until I got to like the age 11 and 12, and I started getting off the porch.
When y'all leave Fieldcrest?
We actually left Fieldcrest probably it might have been like 96, 97.
Okay, I left in 98. Well, you OG, triple OG.
Yeah, we was out there.
You good girl status. Ain't no fucking way. I ain't.
Yeah, I was out there. Ask anybody. Be like, yeah, that motherfucker was out there. They used to call us the Web Sisters because we used to dance all the time.
You had to be at Phyllis Wheeler. Phyllis Wheeler raised us. You was in the Super Summer program.
My mama didn't let us hang out in the neighborhood like that a lot. My grandparents did, so we was always in Phyllis Wheatley, but we stayed in Fieldcrest.
That's crazy. You know about them center dinners.
I sure do.
We had two centers. One at the bottom of Fieldcrest.
Yeah, one at the bottom. My sister used to go to the you remember they had like what is it, like a the
little building across the street. Building across the street from it because the
down there in the bottom
was in the little apartment.
Yeah, they had like a little something. Cause she went there. Taylor went there. That went there.
Man, I can smell it right now. Them little grape juices. I mean,
okay. Man, and I definitely used to come down there and get them.
Best bologna sandwich Ever that little center done. Then you mess around and got a turkey wing? Oh, you hit the jackpot.
Yeah, I was definitely. That's what I said. You probably seen that because I remember Ricky and all them when they was little. I just, my mama didn't just let us just really be out there like that until we got a little older. That's when I started being a little rebellious.
Yeah, because a lot of y'all was cheerleaders for our little football team, the War Eagles, little community football.
Yeah. I used to play football out there in the hood. I know them all. That's what I said. You might have been around. You just didn't know who I was. That's all it was.
OG, triple OG.
Yeah, my uncles grew up in the hood out there. We grew up out there.
I be telling people, man, look, it wasn't the hood. We was in the projects.
That's why I said it wasn't. It wasn't.
That's why when people from
tell us shit back then, you couldn't tell us that.
That's why when people from Crowd the Circle be trying to compare their life to mine in the projects of Fieldcrest, I'm like, man, yeah, y'all might have lived in the hood. That's because only what y'all was governed around. Pete, my man, in Fleetwood, but y'all went to bed in full pajama sets out there.
Exactly. Crowd the Circle to me was like, what you call that, middle class.
Yeah, y'all had. We usually have to drop y'all off first before we went to the hood.
Okay.
To the project. We dropped y'all off first. If y'all go through Fieldcrest, they be like, oh, we about to roll through Aidsville.
I'm telling you, that was middle class to me. Shit, because to me, I thought them kids was rich.
Come on, man, look, go spend a night in Crowd Circle, man. It's lovely. Y'all had swing sets and above ground pools and trampolines.
They had it all out there. Okay,
black suburbs. It was the black suburbs.
It was to me. That was not.
My ex said that they had steak and shrimp when she was little. I said I didn't know what steak and shrimp. I said I knew what it was, but I didn't get it until I was like old enough to buy it myself at 18, 19. Pork chop was the steak of the hood.
Okay.
Fried chicken, pork chop, potted meat.
Now,
potted spam can without the key. Who done lost the damn key to the spam can?
Spam was definitely the shit back then.
Then you outside throwing the can on the ground.
Nah. I won't eat it now.
Scrapple.
I'm sorry, I won't eat it now. But I used to tear that shit up back in the day in the hood. Sure did. They don't know shit about syrup sandwiches. They don't know shit about none of that. Sugar water.
And when they came out, that sugar water, when they came out with that watermelon clear Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah.
Man, look.
Yeah. That shit, a lot of people don't remember that.
And they don't
know. That shit was cool.
They don't know nothing about living with roaches, rats, and spiders, and all this mess.
They don't. Hey, they don't know nothing about living with roaches and spiders. And I had to show my kids a damn roach video the other day. I let them watch. My little girl was screaming her damn ass off. She was scared. I said, you need to watch it because y'all don't understand.
They was our brothers and sisters.
I'm trying to live with them no more. I live with them niggas for years.
They was our brothers and sisters, man.
Okay, you had to be definitely had to be immune to them growing up, man.
It wasn't
you definitely had to be immune to this shit growing up.
They don't know nothing about what a roach did. We probably done swallowed a couple.
Okay.
They done been in our cereal, our King vitamins, and our
the refrigerator, every damn thing.
In the ice cubes embedded. They done one fell in the ice tray. He is
oh yeah.
Ice age. Man, look, they don't know. That's why I say y'all kids.
They got to be grateful where we've came from to where y'all at today. We don't win from nothing.
We didn't have a choice of food, clothes, haircut, hairstyle.
None of that. I'm telling you, I hate the way my mama did my hair, but she did.
And you 11 and want me to pay $150 for butterfly locks. Get your ass on somewhere.
I'm telling you. But yeah, I was out there. They used to call us the Web Sisters because we used to dance all the time. That's what we really known for, just dancing.
Yeah, dancing was the thing, man. I said, they think they doing something with all that twerking these days. I said, go back and listen to Hey Little Mama, Why You Dance So Funky.
Okay, we tearing it up back then. Tearing it up.
Get out of my face with that. They been, the music we had back then was real nasty. Akinelli and all this. Man, come on, let's go.
It was very nasty. That's why I say here. Come on now. We created that concoction, and now it's spilling.
is feeling bad. I seen your mama at Freaknik on the video. It dropped that video. A lot of parents, people got smoked.
Okay. I definitely wanted to go. That was one thing I did not get to do, but I definitely wanted to go. Definitely wanted to go, but I didn't go.
Okay, man.
But yeah.
Look. Okay, we gotta go. We doing it again. You got to feed the baby.
Yeah, we
doing it again. We doing it again. We going. Look, we having look.
Reminiscing and all.
We need a block at the radio station, boy. Look, shoot.
I'm telling, we definitely do. But yeah, this was good. This was really good and very informative. I enjoyed this live. I did.
Look, we done messed around and made it our moment. Our viewers got tired of us.
Yeah, they don't left.
They disappeared an hour and a half ago. Wait a minute. We got up here by 8 o'clock or something like that. Hold on. Wait a minute.
7 something.
We been up here 5 hours. Wait, 4 hours, 5 hours. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it don't even feel like it.
It really don't. It feel like we ain't had enough time. It feel like we had enough time. I needed this though. I appreciate it.
I did too. But like I said, I hit you up behind the scenes to get the dates for everything, and what we gonna put together. You know what I'm saying? And make this thing happen. Cause
hey, God always puts you in the right place at the right time.
Right? Do. Yeah. I'm telling you, I always do. But yeah, I appreciate you. But I'm gonna get up out there. I know probably don't have that many views. Probably people watching from outside too. I know y'all. We had a good time tonight. We had to spill the beans. All right, we had to get it all out. What we can get out for the night.
Exactly.
We'll be back.
Make sure y'all share the live.
Yeah. Yes, share the live. Please share the live. Somebody need to hear it. A lot of people need to see a different perspective. So yeah, share the live. And as always, like I say, love, peace, and oneness. And I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Peace, love.
Peace, bro.